Looks like we on and popping. Let me know if my audio sounds a little off because I got this speaker. Well, I could probably turn this thing off, at least until I need it. But I'd like to welcome everybody in the building for coming on in. Let's get this thing started. Let's get this thing going. The Rod of God. I almost called you Rod the God again, even though that's a cool name too. But the Rod of God podcast just said the audio is good. It's good. You said wave grease popping. Yeah, I got a little Murray's in there, man. I do the Murray's grease in the do rag. Murray's grease in the do rag. Gets the job done. Okay, I think I think that's just you. And let me roll my intro. We got 33 people in the building already. Make sure y'all hit the like button as you come on in. Let's roll the intro, give a few more people some more time, and let this get this thing going. But I don't know what to do with that J. That might be silent or make a H. I don't know, but Dagematic, I think it's just you, brother. I think it's just you. But let's get this party rolling. Let's get this thing popping. Let's go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mumia Obsidian Ali. You know who I am. I need no introduction, right? And you're listening to the Grown Man Hour with my man Bernard Riley, heard weekdays right here on YouTube. What do you think about that? How about that? Now let's get back on with the show. Thank you.
All right, what's good? What's popping? What's up, good people? Welcome to everybody who have made it in the building already. Make sure you hit that like button. Y'all are doing good. See, I know the people that come in bright and early are the people that rock with me. Those are the people that rock with me because we already got 51 on the likes. And as Rod the God had, see, I did it again. The Rod of God podcast has stated down there. There's 3 people that already hit the dislike, and that's okay. I got haters. The haters gonna hate. They gonna hate off title. They gonna hate off just the mere fact of seeing me going live, and they got a problem with it. But shout out to Queen Q in the building, dropping that first comment. Appreciate those of you who dropped the comments bright and early. Come right in, drop the comments. The early bird squad, as I call you. Appreciate each and every one of you. Says Logan JJ says, I wish there was a Funk Flex DJ Clue Bomb sound effects after every time Sister Sharazad Ali made her talking points on the show. Her message is what every black woman needs to hear. What I loved is how he played that clip from back. I'm gonna play the clip back. It was subtle, but it was funny because shout out to Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. I can't say enough about that guy. He's definitely doing a great job. I aspire to be where he is someday. But he played a clip. I'm going to show y'all the clip of when Shaharazad Ali was making her TV show rounds or whatever, and another lady, and just to further set this up even more, he refers to Shaharazad Ali, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews does. He refers to Shaharazad Ali as the paternal mother or grandmother of his show. It refers to Iyanla Vanzant as the paternal mother of the show. You got to really watch his content to get it, but it makes, just trust me, it makes sense. However, it was interesting when he showed an old clip of when Shaharazad Ali was making her rounds on the daytime TV circuit. Somebody in the audience stood up and asked her a question, and it was Iyanla Vanzant. I didn't know that. I had no idea about that. So Iyanla Vanzant stood up and asked. I wouldn't even say she. I'm gonna play the clip so y'all will be able to see it. But she didn't even necessarily ask her a question. She just came at her, just as aggressive as all the other black women in the audience that was coming at Sister Shaharazad Ali. Now it's interesting because fast forward 30, however many years, roughly 30 years, give or take. Fast forward, and what do we now see? We see Iyanla Vanzant getting run off the air by her own admission, ran off the air by black women. They out of order, they out of control. I mean, you know the tape. It was a lot of details and context to it. I'm not trying to flesh all of that out, but we get the point, though. We get the point that we can hear what Iyanla Vanzant is saying right now. We understand that, oh, it looks like you kind of came around to Sister Shaharazad Ali's position if you listen to what Iyanla Vanzant is saying right now. But shout out to Logan JJ. Appreciate the super chat. Little Rock 2517 in the building. JJ once again. Ike Ogiamian in the building. Shout out to Ike. NYC Songman says something worth pointing out there. He says, are too many, wait, no, this ain't the one that I thought that I was looking at. This is another. Well, I'll go ahead and read this one, but it was another comment that I think he made that I wanted to highlight. Hey, is that your son right there in that pic? Good stuff. You gotta look like you got a new graduate on your hands. That's what's up, man. Salute and shout out to you and to him. He says, are too many U.S. black men living in a time warp? Are we salty because we feel that we've been shorted out of male-female relationships? I don't know if that's necessarily it. I don't know about the way that you necessarily put it, but I mean, you put it in an interesting way. I got to think about that. Are we salty because we feel like we've been shorted out of a traditional male-female relationship? I think it goes both ways. And Obsidian was actually touching on this earlier this morning. It goes both ways. Well, multiple ways. There are some people, and I kind of gave pushback to Obsidian when he first started saying this. There's some men who they're just hurting because it's almost like, to some degree, I was like, man, are you embracing the whole who hurt you narrative? But it is a fair discussion to be had that there are some people in these spaces who just, yeah, they pissed off about the way some stuff went down personally involving black women, and they're venting it out. Then there's people who, and I think Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews would fall in this category. I think I would fall in this category. And there's a lot of people who look at this from a larger macro standpoint and look at the relationships between black men and black women, and who would like to actually can't even talk, would actually like to see some improvement would actually like to see some families stay together because that produces better outcomes for black children. You get better outcomes for black children, particularly black boys. You get better outcomes for black people. And if you think better outcomes for black people is generally a good thing, you should generally want to see relationships do better. So then there comes a long winded conversation about why relationships are bad. And then it circles back to a lot of the things that Sister Shaharazad Ali talks about. You see, so that's the big circle picture of how it plays out and how it works out on a large scale. But on the individual personal scale, if you just in here just fuming off your personal butt hurt, not saying you're not allowed to be hurt, not saying you don't got right to be upset, but that is personal. And there has been some talk about how much of the personal should somebody make their personal political, but a lot of times the personal does become political. But so that there's so that's what I saw in your question right there. There's a lot there that could, a whole show could be done on that. Are too many of us black men living in a time warp? Are we salty because we feel that we've been shorted out of male female relationships that we believe that great granddaddy enjoyed in bygone eras? And I think that brings us to what I believe is your other comment before I read that comment. Yeah, got the picnic table suit on, boy. You said, Bernard, peace, brother. I see you with the picnic tablecloth jacket. Absolutely, absolutely. Getting it in, getting it in. Boy, get your game up. Get your game up. Or not, or not. Don't. He says, I mean, it isn't as if there were no divorces back then. There certainly were. Or shout out to Ike when me and him was having discussions about that. He was talking about why the Nigerian divorce rate is so low. Truth be told, a lot of people, they just stand in it. That's something that we've gotten away from, and I can plead guilty on that one because one thing that Ike was talking about, he was saying that you think that the bad relationship that you're in is going to ruin the kids, no, it's going to hurt the kids more by the separation. I was married, I'm now divorced. I was of the belief that it'd be better for the kids if me and her wasn't even together. So I gotta plead guilty on that one. If that's the crime, just the separation, then yeah, I was married for 13 years and I had to get the hell up out of there. But I'm back in a happy, healthy relationship now. So it wasn't just that I was just on some fuckery and bullshit. Well, no, I'm not gonna get into that. That's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show. And a lot of you know parts of the story. A lot of you know parts of the story. I put out parts of the story throughout streams. Told a lot of details when I was on Mr. Palmer. Um, and tomorrow I will be on the lead attorney. Shout out to Little Big Nate because I was on his show yesterday. I'll probably do a little recap of some of the things we talked about there. Maybe if I get into it, if I get a chance. But no, I definitely had a good time over there on Little Big Nate's show with Little Big Nate and a good brother, Sir Tice. But hold on, before let me hurry up and get to this before I mess around and miss a super chat that came up. Said it isn't as if there were no divorces, no DV, no broken homes, no folks bolting from dysfunction. Well, the marital rate was pretty high. So it's not that it wasn't no divorces or people weren't leaving. People were staying together and standing in it because the overall single rate was low. So that means people were, despite however much hell and chaos was going on in that house, people were sticking it out. That was the difference in my estimation. But had to be some dysfunctional marriages back then in the rose-colored 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. We're just a part of the continuum. That part is true. We are part of the continuation, and not just that, we're part of the continuation with the ability to live a happy, healthy, functioning life apart. But then there's the overall macro outcomes of that. So there's that. And shout out to the Logic Sphere. Thank you for showing me where I just dropped the ball in my title. She comes to the Manosphere. Okay, she comes to a larger platform on the Manosphere. Okay, but thank you. Yeah, she has been on the Prophet of Thought series. Thank you, Ty City. Indigenous TV says, Bernard, do the shoes match the outfit, brother? I don't got shoes on. Got on flip flops, nigga. Black Wolf Inc. in the building. And shout out to Black Wolf. I gotta play that again because I couldn't hear the wolf. Either that because my earbuds didn't pick it up. Hold on, let me make sure that I didn't. Hold on. We gotta run that back. I think just because I didn't have my earbuds in, I couldn't hear the wolf, but I could hear everything else. There it is. I heard it right there. Black Wolf in the building. Got the special acknowledgement in the exclusive club. I got to work on a few more of those, but shout out to Black Wolf. Been almost pretty much a day one supporter. He got it. But shout out to Black Wolf. Yeah, that's what I play when Black Wolf super chat. Black Wolf Inc. in the building. He says they had a very good conversation yesterday. It was truly revealing how much her book predicted what we deal with today. Also, salute, Captain. Salute to you. Appreciate you coming on through with the super chat. We also got Mr. Shane Vicious. BP. Black people stay together because of limited options. There's some truth in that, but I don't think the limited options that it was is different from what I think you're talking about when you say limited options, because you talking about some, crystalline kerosene, increase your dating options type of stuff like that. That's what I feel like. That's what I think you're doing when you're talking about that. But reality is no. I mean, the way that culture, society, and everything was set up, yeah, Black people had to stay together, but other groups of people stayed together at a higher percentage rate then. So there is a cultural change that is going on. And that gets talked about quite a bit in the Manosphere. Got to shout out Obsidian on that Black people are dealing with the shock of freedom. I forgot it's a book that Obsidian quotes that talks about that. But yeah, that is a factor in the equation. Black people are free. Black men and Black women don't need each other. They can live, thrive, and function just fine without each other. But then there's outcomes. But yeah, I think you're just talking about white vagina. Shout out to Black Wolf. I'm glad you like it. Glad you like it. But all right. That's a factor. It says Black people during civil rights movements, we all we got. Absolutely. He said, did you catch any time event? Yeah, okay, I talked about that earlier, Leo Anthony. Shout out to you. Appreciate the super chat. And I can't pull up my drops. Hold on. There was another one. There was something else. Give me a minute. Okay, no, it's all right there. Side by side. All right, shout out to Leo Anthony once again. He said, did you catch the Iyanla Vanzant part where he showed the clip of her speaking against Sister Ali and later on admitting Black women are out of control? I absolutely did. That's the first thing I want to show here today. Mr. Shane Vicious, I'm talking about all options, mating, education, employment, move. Okay, good. Now you're making sense. I was under the impression that you weren't making sense, but if you're talking about that, okay, now you are making sense. Those are the things, being able, like I say, being able to function and survive. A woman today, regardless of her race now, she can get a job working at some air conditioned cubicle. I think women are, I think 70% of them are in the labor force, something like that. You can get a job working at an air conditioned cubicle and make just enough money to get by. In the event that she get pregnant by a guy that she ain't trying to really build a life with him, mm, she can make just enough money to function and take care of the kids. In the event that she can't, there's social safety nets. She don't need a man. Women of all races in this, every woman in the, I was going to say the Western world, but I'll just stick to this country because it's the one that I know. Can't got all creative control to be strong, independent, and not need a man. So yeah, marriage rates are going to be down, birth rates are going to be down, all that's going to be down. When women are in a position where they need men, guess what? Marriages go up, birth rates go up, and kids grow up in traditional families. And I think we generally agree that families are good. So that's why something that the Black Manosphere get typecast with. They want to take away rights from women. Well, no, I don't want to take away rights from women, but we do got to acknowledge the more freedom and more liberties and more this, the more that women have. The more they're likely to not want to have to deal with the man, at least not in a straightforward, traditional way. Which means that, that we're going to get more of the statistical problems that we get. Is this a simple cause and effect? Mr. Shane Vicious in the building says, "Oh yeah, I already read that one. Shout out to you. Shout out to you." Rod of God podcast in the building. Me and that brother did an excellent one-on-one and had an excellent panel that embodied everything that this show is about, where brothers got up, had good, passionate, spirited debate, didn't get personal, a couple little small, minor cheap shots here and there, but definitely great show. I highly recommend it. I recommend his stream, even though I don't agree with him on, all the religiosity. I don't agree with him on all of that, but definitely respect the brother and respect his view and perspective. So yeah, definitely go check the brother out, the Rod of God podcast. But shouldn't it always be we all we got? Isn't that what all other groups understand? To some degree. To some degree, they do. Well, yes and no, because they date out at a noticeable rate as well. So there's that. Everybody's dating out. But if we're talking about dating out, as far as we all we got, I do believe economically we should operate and function that way. That's the reason that I do think Black men should be trying to take over the every business, every market that Black people consume the product that our dollars drive. I think Black men should be trying to take that over. And when you do that, somebody's going to question your sexuality. Not bringing that shit. Oh man, people are a trip. Shout out to the Rod of God podcast. That was an inside joke. Some people don't know. Black Wolf Inc. in the building. One more time, fam. That greeting is too sweet. Shout out to you. And Snuggles, your competition, the bear versus the wolf. Even though it's a cute, cuddly Snuggles bear that couldn't fight her way out of a wet paper towel. Snuggles in the building. She says, "I am here. What is going on, Black Wolf, aka Puppy?"
Hi, I'm Snuggle. Snuggly softness. That's really less
expensive. Shout out to those, the two of you. I'll be making some more of those for people Be patient, be patient. But those are the only two people that got their own little special super chat acknowledgement. Cool Kamazi in the building, dropping some funds from the West African Negro Coalition Fund. All right, cool. What's up? What's up? Salute, salute. I didn't know that. I thought you see, I don't know who ADOS and who not. And I halfway don't care. Happy Monday to you, the upcoming panel, and the bros in the chat. Hashtag Fufu is life. I don't know what that Fufu means. But shout out to you. All right, I'm about to roll I normally say roll the not so beautiful bean footage. Yes, that's I love that commercial with the dog. Roll that beautiful bean footage. I love that commercial. Tommy Sotomayor did popularize it on Black YouTube when he always say roll that beautiful bean footage, and I normally say roll that not so beautiful bean footage. But this bean footage is some actually beautiful bean footage, so I can't say roll that not so beautiful bean footage. But I am gonna roll it. Pulling it up right now as we speak. Pulling it up right now as we speak. Give me 1 second. 1 second. I'm going to try to start it with the Iyanla Vanzant part. He got a lot of ads playing in this damn thing. I don't blame him. So we like to deal with some ads. And no, I haven't paid for YouTube Premium yet. I have not paid for YouTube Premium yet. Can you get Jessica X to make another weave joke? We've got to think about that. That was funny. She said, "We've come to the end of the joke and end of the show." That was some funny stuff. That was some funny stuff. She typically don't make jokes that make me laugh. Maybe a slight chuckle, but you made me laugh on that one. I like a sharp, witty, cunning, but still corny joke. Actually like those. I like a good corny joke. So that made me laugh. But shout out to you for the $2.
These last $2, I'm not gonna lose.
Already shouted that out. Little Big Nate says, check out Bernard Riley on a Little Big Nate show last night after his show. Of course. Absolutely. Already shouted that out. Nigga said the bob and weave. Bob and weave. K Dash. Chaya. I'm about your name. You came on the air and told me exactly what your name, how to pronounce your name, and I still don't got it. I'm terrible. But let's get this thing going. I do want to try to pull it up right at the part that matters. I do want to pull it up right at the part that matters. That's why y'all don't see it playing just yet. Shoot. All right, we might just have to just roll with it. We're just gonna lean with it and rock with it because I can't. We're gonna roll into it organically, but I don't want to have y'all on some dead air type stuff while I'm trying to find it. I did timestamp one particular part of it that I want to make sure that we highlight.
I am the first black woman in 500 years to write a book in favor of the black man. Is that a Bible scripture?
You're not the first woman to do. You keep saying that you're the first woman, but the world didn't begin with you. You're just trying to make money off of black women, and it's not right.
This was not intended to be a book of balance to show the good.
They used to come for her neck. They used to come for that neck. But I do want to locate the part that about Shaharazad Ali. You watch most of those clips, most of those videos. That was one part where one chick tried to get with her a little bit, but she used to win 95% of the exchanges when she used to go at it with people on this topic. But is that
where I'm not working for me? I'm building all of these black people's career. If they wasn't for my book.
If you only
And we're
list your
going to deal with
vacation home on
commercials.
Airbnb, you might attract someone looking
We're
for a
about to deal with
quaint little
commercials.
studio.
And I got to
Well,
pay for the
nobody know who
YouTube
none of these
Premium
people were.
and quit
So,
playing.
not
Quit playing and pay for that YouTube Premium.
To, as the only woman here, say thank you,
our strength in the wrong direction. We're using it against I didn't have to show it in that. You wrote your book the way you wanted to.
You know what? Forget it. I'm just gonna play it. I'm just gonna play it because I can't even find
then we need to examine where it came from.
the
But
part
if
I'm
it's
looking
not,
for. This is
then
gonna
why?
tease us all the way into
Well,
it.
I do agree with a lot of the statements made in the book, but what I'm addressing now is what she said.
You're upset at the challenge to her authority.
Well, I mean, I don't see where the question has any importance to what's going on.
Okay, hang on one second. Yes, ma'am.
I interviewed 379 black men who were either married to or dating white women. I interviewed over 100 black women who were either married or dating black women, and over 1,000, nearly 1,200 black men and black women around the country. But what I found is that we don't have a control group. There was no point in me listing everybody's name in the back of the book. What was y'all going to do? Call them all up? The point is that by putting their names, by not including that, then what I'm trying to say is that we have a collective problem that affects all of the people. There was no point in doing that.
It is impossible to sensationalize a book that uses quotes like, "The black woman is a rat who behaves like a dog while purring like a cat."
What is your nationality?
I'm Puerto Rican, as
Okay,
the
well, I
world
didn't write
knows.
it for the Puerto Rican man. I wrote it for the black man. So, that's what I'm trying to demonstrate, that we have a very special man, and he has a set of very special needs, just like we have. We need to stop claiming that we are all the same. We're not all the same. We have the problems that come from the psychological trauma that we suffered in slavery.
All right. I actually did find the part I was looking for. There she go. There go Iyanla. Not right there, but here she come right here. Here she come right here. All right, I did find it. I apologize for the confusion. Oh man, y'all still cracking them weave jokes. Somebody said we've got a long way to go. Yep, thank you, somebody. Somebody just put in the chat, go to 442. That's exactly, if you could see that. Yep, if you can see it, I'm at 444 right now. So I did find it. So good. We in the building. We good. We got it. Had a little mishap. That's what I get for not time stamping the exact parts that I want to respond to, but we should roll smoothly going forward.
Not the black women in the audience. My name is Iyanla Vanzant, and I am a Yoruba priestess and a cultural custodian. This is not our culture. This book is anti-cultural, anti-African, and anti-historical. Wait a minute. Because our ancestors have said that our key to our growth is love. This book contains no love. It doesn't encourage love. It doesn't support love. And it dismisses the most loving force on this earth, the African woman.
Back in 2013, I interviewed you when I worked with Madame Noir. Okay. And we had, a viral moment. We talked about Black women and boundaries. And you said we were out of order.
We're still out of order.
I'm like, you're not even going to let me set up the question. You said, well, tell me, you said if we understood who we were, we would not let other people define us and confine us. And then you said we're demeaned, diminished, demoralized in ways we accommodate. Tell us why you say we're so out of order.
I think now because we get paid to be out of order now.
Okay.
So you could see right there that Iyanla Vanzant has come around a little bit. Has come around to Shaharazad Ali's point of view. But even then, I think she soft shoes it to some degree when she said we get paid to be out of order. I don't think everybody is everybody who's out of order is not being paid to be out of order. If she's talking about love and hip hop, yes. Yeah, those women on love and hip hop are no doubt being paid to be out of order. They no doubt are being paid to be out of order. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But when you look at most of the out of order stuff that's going on, and y'all know how I am with viral videos, you can make some points about what we see on the internet. However, is the confirmation bias aspect of it, and the I don't like when people use it as empirical data. They are useful tools to just look at to highlight a certain point, but you should have some data that backs it. And then you just pick out from the viral video, what can we learn from this situation here when we really break it down? That's how you should look at viral videos. So bear with me when I say this here, because I want to be in contradiction. When you look at people wilding, most of the time when you see black people wilding out and doing ignorant stuff, they're not being paid to do it. Well, you can argue if they own welfare and don't got to be productive, and okay, well, maybe. Anyway, for the most part, they're not necessarily being paid to do it, and we're not being paid to share it. That almighty share button, where we share all the stuff that's wrong in a highlight reel, so to speak. Video montage of all the effery. Nobody's being necessarily paid to do that. The content creator or the streaming service may very well be getting paid to share the effery. But that's why I give analysis of ideas and not just like, oh, look at this video. This black woman did this horrible thing. Look how horrible she is. See, black women horrible. I mean, that's when we get to a place where we're just having a base level conversation, whereas there's a bigger, deeper analysis of what's going on and analysis of the ideas behind a lot of the things. Mr. Shane Bitcher says welfare allows them to be themselves. Shout out to my man, Maurice Novembre, one of my first Patreons, one of my very first Patreons. Shout out to you. When I put my Patreons right there, you see Obsidian, Kevin Samuels, Steph is Code, and then your names after them. I did put them heavyweights and big heavy hitters first on the list, but then after that, Maurice Novembre, Pablo, everybody else is almost people who became a Patreon of me, pretty much in order right there. So as far as my longest standing Patreon, Maurice Novembre is the first one. He used to, long before I was monetized, he used to just hit the Cash App and just say thank you. No words, no description, just thank you. That's all he used to say. So shout out to Maurice Novembre. He's been a silent, pretty much silent supporter. He don't come in, very rarely joins the panel, very rarely, he don't even comment that much. He just hit me a Cash App behind the scenes and say thank you. So shout out to him. Ty City in the building says clips never die. You're right. Because we caught Iyanla red-handed right there. Iyanla got caught red-handed. So you ain't lying. You ain't lying. Shout out to you. Appreciate the super chat.
These last $2, I'm not gonna lose.
Sketch 1001 in the building. He says, I will say some women, celeb, entertainers, etc., are being paid to be out of order to promote the norm to be out of order. That's a good point. Now that's a good point. Where, yeah, like I said about the love and hip hop, yeah, they're getting paid to be out of order and dysfunctional. And yeah, it does sell the image to the norm. But then that's something I always say on this show. Does art imitate reality, or is reality imitating art? I do believe when, going back to those viral videos, when you see those 10 on 10 titties out, we flying battle royals with women, I tend to believe, apparently left to their own devices, they're going to be acting like that regardless of what they saw in Love and Hip Hop. So there's that factor. Hashtag not all. Got to do that nowadays. I know some people don't like the hashtag not all, but deal with it. I'm still going off that hopium. But shout out to you. That's a good comment. Sketch one. Good comment. We got Sun is Hot Raw in the building. Says, if she's over in the Manosphere now, then between her and Kevin Samuels, whether you like them or not, they're our strongest allies right now. Very well said. Very well said. And mediocre tutorials and reviews. I'm going to get into him because I do want to get into his back and forth. Well, not back and forth, but interview with her. He's been egging her on to just start a YouTube channel, and she's been kind of like, I really don't want to, blah, 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 blah. But at some point in this, she said she might do it. And he's like, look, if you need some help, I'm ready to fly out right now and help you get started. So I do think she will get a YouTube channel going pretty soon. I do think that's coming down the pipeline for Shaharazad Ali. I do believe that is the truth. Son is hot around the building says, oh wait, I already read that one. I like that Ike had that drum hit, the boom, boom, ping. Yeah, I gotta get that. But yeah, no, they absolutely to this comment that you made right there. And shout out to you for the $10, and I'm making you part of the $10 nation.
What do we get for $10? Everything you want. Everything? Everything.
I still laugh when I see that clip. Mr. Shane Bitches, just get the ad block. No, man, I don't do the ad block stuff. I'll pay money to, to not, I just pay, I pay the money. Like, I mean, it's black content creators do get paid off the ads. So you don't want to I'm not going to take a cheap way to avoid the ads. And the $10 ain't nothing. Like, I mean, as an adult, you should be in a place to where if you just sign up for something for $10 a month and they take the $10 out randomly on the 15th, I won't say you shouldn't notice it, because shout out to Ike. Ike be dropping so many jewels. He said you should look at it every day. As we talking about scale, actually standing on the scale, just stand on it, look at it every day. Your credit report, look at it every day. And so technically your checking account, right when you're sitting down to work, you should just pull it up, look at it every day. So I don't look at it every day. So I'm the person, and I'm getting out of this, but I'm that person who, there was something that I signed up for a while ago. It wasn't Amazon Prime, because I know I talked about that, how I had to cancel Amazon Prime, which I did. It was something that I signed up for a long time ago. Well, and they were hitting me for $24 a month. And I didn't know. Now that is a halfway flex when you're in position where randomly on the 13th of the month, they can take $24 out of your account and you not notice. As an adult, you should be in that position where you don't miss $24. So obviously I'm not going to miss the $10 for YouTube Premium. I'm not going to miss that. However, you shouldn't be that irresponsible to where you're not checking your numbers to where somebody can get you for 6 months in a row and you not notice. I check the numbers, but I don't, go through every little thing, every little deduction. Okay, I see the $10 at McDonald's. I see the $10 at Leroy's chicken and collard greens and biscuits and cream of wheat or whatever he sell there. I see that. I see, I see this coming out. I see that coming out. I see that coming out. But no, I don't go down and itemize every little thing I spent on my debit card, because everything I pay for, I pay on a debit card. So I don't just go back and check every little thing for the month. So that's how, for a series of months, I forgot how long, I didn't realize I was getting hit for $24. So I'm saying all that to say that the $10 for YouTube Premium ain't gonna hurt me at all. The $24 thing that I canceled, the YouTube Premium could just replace that, and I'm not going to notice the $10 missing. So that's no big deal. Just get the ad block. Nah, I'll pay for the YouTube Premium. I don't promote people getting the ad block, because black YouTube people get paid off ads. I want people to get paid off their ads, or if you pay for the YouTube Premium, the content creators you listen to get a small piece of that too. So there's that. Ambush 850, he says they are getting paid, except the currency is attention. Oh yeah, that's a whole nother form. But Appreciate you. My man, Coach Ali in the building. No comment, just tricking LOL. Shout out to Bernard in the chat. Shout out to Coach Ali. Shout out to Coach Ali's Corner. Appreciate you. And shout out to, hopefully this chat ain't moving so fast that I can't keep up with Herb Thompson in the building. Says, good morning, Bernard. Happy Monday, bro. Couldn't find your Cash App link. It is $ Bernard Riley 99. Make sure you include the 999 because there's another Bernard Riley out there who will take your money, who will receive it, and he won't give it back unless you want to. So make sure you include the 99. Make sure you include the 99. But shout out to you. I don't have a $25 greeting, but no, we're gonna do like this. We're gonna give you the, and then we're gonna give you the $20 win.
I want 150,000. So we can settle out of court right now for $20. Man, get your
Sweet pea diabetes. I acknowledged it that time. I see it and then ignore it every day, but I just went on and clicked on it. Sweet pea. Give you just a little bit of attention, that they just talked about. E Capone, he says, what's up, BR? Shout out to you. All right. Let's get into the video. Let's get into a video. So got to make sure you take your card immediately out of these subscription services you don't use anymore. Man, listen, I be getting got. I sign up for something. Amazon Prime, I canceled that one in time. It was that damn Coming to America too. I wanted to see that, so I signed up for Amazon Prime. It was free for 14 days, however many days. I think I canceled it in time. I don't know. Because I didn't use the service after I watched Coming to America 2. So no reason to keep it. But I think they got me for $12. I think they did. There's always cancel stuff late. It's a good idea to just start it, sign up, and then immediately cancel it. Just immediately cancel it. And then the one little thing you wanted to watch. Oh yeah, no, I know that you're herbal tea. I do know that. I just went by, the name that you're using. But yes, herbal tea in the building. Jonathan Barronville in the building. He says your real mistakes was watching. Yeah, I did a video explaining what was wrong with that movie. Well, no, I only explained the worst part of the movie. The part that they just overlooked and pretended like it didn't happen. Pretending like he didn't get Me Too'd in the worst way possible. And they just glossed it over. The character that did it was essentially, one of the protagonists in the movie. Wasn't looked at or viewed as a problem at all. But we about to get into it without further ado. But before I get going, I do got to give a formal shout out to Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. He does excellent content. A lot of the things that people say about me, how objective and, really try to think it through and not just go whole hog with dogma. I point out Manosphere dogma all the time in areas where we're just blindly saying this or blindly saying that, where we need to, where we may not be necessarily wrong about this, but y'all are shorthanding the argument. If you're gonna make that argument, you got to understand these details. Like to really break things down. He uses the word cerebral a lot. At least I've heard him use it, more than a few times. I'll say that. And that's how we gotta be. It's just she said some things in this video that some of y'all disagree. She's not completely on board with everything the Manosphere says. Let me make that very clear. She ain't completely on board. She not. She's not in the tank for the Manosphere. There are some core things where the views of most people in the Manosphere and Sister Shaharazad Ali, where they verge, they come together. But there are some things where she has a different take, and I respect that. And like that, listen, if you listen to my show, you know I respect people with different takes. Long as I don't get the feeling that you are anti-black male progress, long as I get the understanding, trying to scrub feeling out of my word, long as I come to the understanding that you're not, shout out to what Little Big Nate called Paco the pillow biter. If you're not just some pro-feminist in the worst kind of way, not just in the, women should have choices and freedom, because I'm with that, I put a fist in the air for them on that. But if you're just full-blown just in the tank on that other on all that other stuff, like, he says, yeah, I disagree with her on a lot of things, obviously, but she understands her gender. Yeah, that's well said right there. But yeah, no, the people, if you're anti-black manosphere, anti-black male, or completely pro-feminist at the detriment of at the detriment of black men and black children, if I can look at what you're saying and it all falls into that kind of situation, that kind of thing, then yeah, I can. Then it gets to the point where I can't be open-minded and objective with your position. But if we can agree on 80 to 90% of everything, we ain't about to go ham over the 10. I want to have a good conversation about the 10. But that's where I'm at with it. But shout out to Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. He's somebody who I think we all, well, not we all, but I'll just speak for myself. I definitely aspire to have run a program similar to what he does. He does a really good job. I really like his content, his approach, his demeanor, his temperament, everything about how he breaks down and analyzes things. He's the real deal. He's one of my favorite content creators, and I said this before, and I kind of like fanboyed and geeked out a little bit when he just randomly showed up in my chat room and dropped a $10 super chat. Like, this is that dude to me. So like I really rock with him. But without further ado, let me get the tape rolling, because I think he's about to bring up Sister Shaharazad Ali right now. So let's go.
Important that we bring the queen up here to have this conversation.
And there we go with the
People are
goddamn
not asking
ads.
the right questions. They're not asking the right questions because they kind of think they already know the answers.
So shout out to everybody that's down into the building. But let's get this conversation started, because it's time to get active. So without further ado, good evening.
I knew that investing in financial assets was the way to financial freedom. Once I found out about Robinhood, I wanted to get started as soon as possible. My name's Azim, and I'm a Robinhood user.
Wait,
With other brokerage firms.
Oh shit.
Good evening.
We in a place now where you can freely cough without people accusing you of having corona. But now I just praised this dude. Now I'm gonna have a problem with you if you're gonna be running ads every 30 seconds. But based off the way it looked like he got it every 10 minutes. So I don't know why another ad came back that fast. I'm not getting the ad blocker. The $10 ain't nothing. I'm gonna pay the $10 when I finally remember to do it. It's no big deal. But let's roll.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, praise be to Allah. I had a good back day. My back is not hurting.
Listen, we are humbled, we are gracious, we are appreciative for your presence here today, and especially that your back is not hurt, so we can conduct this conversation. I know we were having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we figured them out. Yeah, so it's been a long time coming. I know you've seen content on the channel. I'm just so happy and glad that we can finally coordinate this conversation and really just do it for the culture. So I know I had a little bit of an introduction in here. So for the audience, if there's anyone in here that maybe not know who you are, do you want to give a brief introduction of who you are?
Well, I think you did a wonderful idea. And if you have been in America for the past 30 years, you know something about who I am and what I stand for, because I don't have any competition. There's not another female on the front line that's out there who has worked to get the credibility that I have with our people, and who has written books at a price we can't afford, and who has tried to get information out so that we can better ourselves instead of waiting on the enemy to come up with some kind of idea that's going to help us. We have to help ourselves.
Excuse me for 1 second. Hold on. Man, I don't know what's wrong with me right now. I got a serious cough going on. I'm getting a little nonchalant. I'm not getting worried. Know what it is? It's just a little scratch in the throat. When it's corona, it's coming from down here. If it's in your throat, you good. It's just a little scratch in the throat that I'm having right now. So don't worry, people. I'm fine. But I had to push pause and mute up and get off camera so I can go in and cough that one out. Shout out to Demetrius. Hey guy, we gonna go Higash Shikata. I believe that's what that is. Shout out to you. Appreciate your support.
Wait a minute. What's this? This ain't enough. Make it enough.
There, I said it in the building with the $5. Appreciate you. Mr. Ali is traditional, believes the black man must lead if the black community is ever going to improve. The future is not female. Yes, that is correct. That is correct. All right. She said a few things that I did want to respond to. I think I'm just going to roll it because that cough I had was so bad, it made me forget what the hell I was about to say. But no, she had said something along the lines of, excuse me, about solving our problem for ourselves and not waiting on our enemy to do it. Like I said, there are some things where she talk about some things in a way to where I have some disagreement, with the enemy thing, and you're typically going to see this. I mean, when somebody's obviously the last name Ali, obviously she's a Muslim. Typically, people, black Muslims, they're going to look at the white man, the Nation of Islam. We understand that. Well, I'm not even going to get into that. But they're going to look at white racism and the oppressor as one of the biggest sources of the problem. Now, she do speak a lot about our own accountability and solving our own problems. But like, y'all know where I stand on that. And I want to make that very clear because we're not about to just get in the tank for Shaharazad Ali on things that we normally would disagree on. If we normally would say that we don't think that it's racism and white supremacy and the white man foot on our neck holding us back and all of that, even though sometimes she speaks in that way a lot of times, it is worth pointing out that, before I even get into this, that's not my position. So when I, put a triumph fist in the air for the things that she's saying, it's typically not those points right there that the evil oppressor is holding us back. Because like I say, if you're a man and you honestly believe that, then you need to be, the way you move should be different. Now, there are some people who take that position that there's the white man has a foot on his neck, but they're just looking at how they can economically, beat it. But if they think they can't economically beat it, if they think they can't economically thrive because the system of the oppressor is holding them back, then that's when it does legitimately turn into a situation where where they say, well, what are y'all willing to do? Are y'all cowards? Are you scared? Well, that becomes a fair question. If you literally believe another man is controlling your life, controlling your ability to thrive in a country that you're a citizen of. And I don't mean another man is doing it from the sense that, yes, the government has general control over everybody. I'm talking from the perspective of that. No. The government has a base level of control in the sense that, yes, they could tell you how fast you can drive in your car. You can't get on the freeway and do 100 miles per hour. yes, they can. So there's laws that are set up in a civilized country. If you're not talking about that, just the basic stuff, the basic things, the basic control that the government has over everybody. If you're not talking about that, but you're saying no, even further, this boogeyman is out to get you, and they're the reason why you can't be productive. They're the reason why you can't have a productive relationship with your woman, and they're the reason why you can't be a father. And it's specific geared towards you to stop you. Then yeah, then yeah, you need to have a more of an adverse reaction to what is to what's going on. My view is that the laws are set up in this country and the laws govern everybody, and the stupid stuff that you do or don't do is what dictates your outcomes. So I could take the black or white off of it. So I just wanted to point out that when she say the oppressor, the enemy, the this, the that, like I said, I just was did an interview with Mr. Palmer, got one coming up with the lead attorney. And in the field that they do, it's white men who are on some who seriously go through the same thing with, getting access and custody of their kids, even 50-50 custody, they're getting denied that. So we can look at it and say, oh, it's racism and white supremacy keeping us from our children. Okay, well, what is the average Joe white man that makes 60K? What is it racism and white supremacy that got him being a every other weekend, Wednesday from 5 to 8 Uncle Dad? So that's worth pointing out, to where I don't do the whole oppressor white man holding me back thing. I just wanted to make that very clear, because I don't want it to sound like I'm being hypocritical or changing my position because Sister Shaharazad Ali said something. Just wanted to make that very clear before we get going here. Rod of God podcast in the building. He says, yeah, the whole white man is an enemy, and blaming everything on slavery is so played out. Glad you agree with me on that one. Shout out to Sweet Melody Speaks in the building. Shout out to Sweet Melody Speaks. And just dropping that right there, encouraging you. If you're not subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't hit the like button already, make sure you hit the like button. We are looking good on the likes. That is good. That is what's up. Even though we could be at 300, but to be doing what we're doing with the likes, that's not bad. That's not bad. 358 people in the building, and we got 239 on the likes. 6 people with the thumbs down. That's fine. Feel obliged. If you feel so obliged, go ahead and share. You see the Cash App scrolling around the bottom there, but hey, you know how I am. Y'all show an overwhelming amount of support. Black men do support black men. So I wanted to put that out there and make that very clear that y'all are that deal. Y'all are that deal. Nothing but love and respect for the audience. But let's move this thing forward. Or as MTR, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews says, let's get active.
Awesome. Listen, and I wanted to talk about that as well, because I did put together that little bit of an intro. And, when I think about, and I've reviewed a couple of your public appearances back in the late 80s, early 90s, when you talked about your book, right, and the benefit that it was going to have on the Black people, right? And I salute you for your bravery in doing that, right? So, and even in in the digital content creator space right now, we face a lot of opposition in the things that we talk about as well. So I just wanted to hear from you. What was it like going through that 30 years ago? Can you just speak about your experience?
Oh boy, it was rough. It was rough, and at the same time, it was exciting. This meant that sometimes I would show up at a studio for an interview, and there would be protesters outside with banners and flags and T-shirts, ban Sharazad Ali, and things like that. Like this one. See, this is one I saved.
Uh-oh. No way. So they gave that to you?
So
they handed it to you?
Let me make something very clear. If they're protesting with Sister Sharazad Ali's message, if they're saying ban Sharazad Ali, what they are protesting Black families. They're saying ban a message that's conducive with more black families. You see, and this is going to come up in this, where yes, when it comes to talking points of the manosphere, some black women do got every right to disagree with some of it, especially like, let's just take the sector of the manosphere known as SYSBM, where they're making what essentially amounts to a movement of black men not dealing with black women. Black women should have some disagreement with that. Now, yes, some of them can say, hey, I understand, but they should generally not, bare minimum, just not like it. That makes sense. So some of the pushback, even though I don't agree with all the pushback that certain sectors of the manosphere get, it's understandable that some people disagree because of A, B, C, and D, and then a good discussion could be had from there about why the A, B, C, and D, and why you feel this way, and why you feel that way, and why you think like this, and why you think like that. A good discussion could be had there. That's one thing. But with Shaharazad Ali, what she was talking about, no, it's no other way to slice it. She is talking about black women getting on board with their black man and working out black relationships and black families. That's what she's talking about. So when they're saying ban Shaharazad Ali back then, when they're protesting Shaharazad Ali, they're protesting black families. Like they're protesting better outcomes for black children, which means better outcomes for black people. Like that part can't be lost. And that's why I always say, when I look at, the aspects of the manosphere that I feel that I, speak for and represent, and we say, what the people that push back, well, what outcomes are they looking for? The people that push back, what outcomes are they looking for? Let's just say, for example, if the feminists win, how does it look? If what Kevin Samuels is pushing for, if he wins, how does it look? Think about that. If he wins, the argument and changes a lot of minds, shout out to Steven Crowder on that one. If he changes everyone's mind, what's going to happen? If you're not one of the people who just look at the surface level of what Kevin Samuels talks about, and that's the high value man, the shiny object that lures people in to the door when they get in and they sit down and have a real conversation about black relationships. So when you get past the shiny object that he uses to lure people into the door, male and female, the conversation about black relationships that he's having, if he wins, there's going to be more black people together, at least trying harder to work it out, trying harder to work out their relationships, trying harder to have better families, trying harder to have, to have, a cohesive units. So you're going to see more black families or black families staying together longer. If those that push back win, it's less black families and more of what we already have. More black men over here, black women over here, meet in the center to fuck. Damn it, I'm supposed to not be cussing. Meet in the center to make sweet love to each other, and then the women, then they separate, and then women over there with the children, and we know the statistical outcomes of women raising the children. So if the other people that are pushing back win, we're talking about better outcomes for black children. Well, do you care about black people, or do you care about black women not being critiqued, or black women just having the right to do what they want when they want and nobody say nothing about them? Shout out to brother Xavier. What they really need protection from is protection from criticism. They need protection from criticism. That's the only true thing they need protection from. Is protection black women from criticism more important than black men and black women figuring it out, even if you don't like the person who's driving the conversation? Mr. Shane Vitch in the building says black women are for Black families. You guys don't seem to realize that their idea of family is the extended family and not the traditional nuclear family. And no, I understand. I understand that. But then look at the outcomes. I understand that completely. Look at the outcomes. So then I go back to my premise of what I said. If one side wins, what do we get? If the other side wins, what do we get on a macro scale? That's what I'm. That's the question that's being asked. Thank you for your super chat. Appreciate it. Rod of God podcast in the building says you're preaching. They protested. Sharazad. I'm wonder how many times I'm saying her name before I start messing it up. They protested SA like KS. That's Shaharazad Ali and Kevin Samuels. They protested her like Kevin Samuels. Now, because if the Black family comes at the cost of Black women having to be accountable, it's a non-starter. Appreciate you. Trade MVD in the building. Shout out to Trade MVD. Chopped it up with him a little bit on Little Big Nate's channel. He says, I don't get this try harder BS. Plenty of women out here who want traditional men. Instead, men are fighting for 91% dysfunctional BTs. That is not accurate. I'm not fighting for dysfunctional BTs. I am in a happy relationship with a very functional Black woman. But I am looking at this thing on a larger macro scale because I care about the overall outcomes of Black people. So somebody needs to go down with the ship saying what makes sense. Not go down. That's a horrible term. Somebody needs to say what makes sense. I do agree with avoiding. Somebody said avoid the BT. I think it was that's a reference to Tommy Sotomayor's BT 1000. Yes, you should avoid the out of pocket dysfunctional ratchet Black woman. You should avoid her. You shouldn't have sex with her. You shouldn't reproduce with her. You absolutely should not be doing that. But so I don't get how trying to have a sensible conversation about Black relationships means that somebody is fighting for the dysfunctional. Trey, now Trey like that. See, when Trey hear us talking about the Black community and Black relationships and everything that's going wrong in the Black community, to him, we just like the band on the Titanic just playing as the ship going down. What Black band gonna play while the ship going down? You like Steve Harvey right now, like Cool in the Gang would have been unplugged and shit. You like Cool in the Gang unplugged and shit. I ain't going down with this ship. Nah. Oh man. You niggas. All right, y'all got me cussing. Oh man. And shame on you if you didn't get the reference. What Black band gonna play while the ship going down? If you don't got Kings of Comedy just etched into your memory, then shame on you. You lost your Black card. All right, he said, did y'all catch Iyanla dig? Oh yeah, we saw that. We talked about that earlier in the show. See where she's ended up now at the same point as Shaharazad Ali. Yep, absolutely. The Chain Victor says black women will have to submit if you want Black families. That is generally true. It does take a woman, a woman in today's world where, like I said, she can work freely. She can. Every woman in this country can be strong, independent. Don't need a man. All they got to do is make $35K in some air-conditioned cubicle somewhere. That's enough to keep a roof over her head, electricity, water, and food on the table. and she don't need a man. She can live however she want to live, do what she want to do. You know, fuck who she want and fuck who she don't. She get pregnant. She making that's enough money. That's enough money in a low cost of living area to take care of a kid or two. I know they say it ain't, but it's tell you, you'd be surprised. People can figure out a way to squeak by. You know, if you don't got a car note, you know, and you make $35K a year, you could afford to pay. Keep in mind, you people that live in big cities, y'all gonna blow a gasket when I say this, but there's a such thing as 2-bedroom houses and apartments that you can pay anywhere from $750 to $900 rent for. Now I know in New York you pay $2,500 for a 1-bedroom hole in the wall. That's not the world we live in. Those of us that live in smaller cities, you can survive off 35, 40K. And that's all it take. And therefore, every woman in this country has the ability to be strong, independent, and not need a man. So in order for them to get in a relationship, they do have to submit to something. Even if it's some little pseudo sideways submission where they you know, still being an out of pocket bitch, but it's still they still got to submit to something versus, you know, they got to walk away from their freedom. We heard the clip on Kevin Samuels' show. She said, well, chick literally said, I need you to teach me or explain to me, how can I get married but then still have my freedom or something like that? He was like, what? How can I get married but then still just have my independence and just still move freely and do what I want to do? It's like, man, they just be coming clean. They just be coming clean. Good men said, okay, we already read that one. Shout out to you. Appreciate you. Shout out to Shane Vicious. Read his already. Man, I see I'm not going to get through this. The side conversation in the super chats, I appreciate, be overtaking the commentary on what they're talking about. But I'm trying to get to as much of it as possible. No way I can play it all. It was a long interview. So I highly recommend, if you haven't seen it, to go back and check it out. Now we got to hear the truth from RBR, because, you know, we've been up here telling lies. Now here come RBR bringing the truth. We got to meet the quota, have at least one real brother on the show. So here we go. We got RBR in the building. He says, Black women don't need to commit. Just date and marry Black men who love you. Okay. They don't need to commit. Just date and marry Black men who love you, but be uncommitted to that Black man that they're dating and marrying that loves them. So Black men need to love them and marry them, but Black women need not commit. RBR, you're not making sense. I know that's a revelation. I know that comes as a shock to many of you that RBR is not making sense. But I gotta call it. RBR, you're not making sense. You're not. This is a rare moment where RBR is just not making sense and want to spend the rest of their life with you. So the man got to be willing to date, marry, and love the woman and want to spend the rest of his life with the woman, but the woman does not have to commit. Thus, she's not committed to somebody who, based off your description, has committed it all. That doesn't make sense, RBR. Oh, my bad, Shane Vicious. I read that wrong. My bad. I'm glad you sent another one to correct that. Black men will have to submit if they want Black families. That happens to some degree. Shout out to BGS. He did say, I remember he said Black women understand submission. Yeah, your submission. They want you to submit. And that's sort of what's going on the other side when I was saying if the other side wins, they will get it will be less families. But no, they want families too, to some degree. However, they want you being a good little boy and doing exactly what they want you to do. They want you to bend at the knee. They want you to yield. They want you to do what they want to do. Sort of like the male feminist that was on the show who said he's writing a book on relationships. And when I didn't get an exact answer, but after we picked his brain for a little bit, we can tell that because he was saying, well, why are these women leaving these relationships? Because we do know black women do, or women in general, leave these relationships. He's saying, but why are they leaving? Why are they leaving? And basically what it amounts to is that the men are not being good little boys and acting the way that the woman wants them to act. So basically, yes, that was his argument. He didn't say it, but that was what I inferred, that he's saying that, yeah, the men need to submit to the woman. So yeah, you are right that with the way things are currently constituted right now, that the black men who want families, yeah, some of them, in some cases will have to submit, given the current ideology of a lot of black women. They want the man to bend to them, and if they can't get the man to bend to them, then they own some this shit. I'm out, and then they out, and then and it's even worse. And Sister Sharazad Ali talks about this all the time. How if she ain't, if that man is not with her, then it's scorched earth. They could be married. He not acting the way she want to act. She go file for divorce. He want 50-50 custody. No, you can't have 50-50 custody. You can get every other weekend and pay me money. Scorch earth. Shout out to the lead attorney, who I'm going to be on this show on Tuesday. Yeah, that's literally that's literally how it is. He says men try to get 50-50 custody all the time. They normally don't get it. The women don't want them to get it. The court tends to side with the woman. So yeah, failure to submit to the will of that woman is, yeah, she's going to divorce you. It's a chance. We know the rates. She's going to divorce you, and she's going to fight for you to be a weekend Uncle Dad, and then call you a deadbeat. So yeah. So bend to the will, submit. Yeah, that's a thing. That is a thing. All right, Mr. Shane Viggs, I'm gonna quit reading your shit in a little bit. RBR is on point. When you say RBR is on point, you've left the room as somebody who I can have intellectual discourse and dialogue with. Black women won't cuckold relationships, even though there's something to that. There's not going to get into that. Not going to get into that. Change my mind. Sorry, I meant black women don't need to submit. Okay, so now let me go read it and see if it still don't make sense now that you've made a little correction. Shout out to Kendu, or I think Orbe. I'm not sure how, but I think that's how it go. He says we need a Book of Eli type of event to happen in order to reset the natural order. Shout out to the angry man when somebody said, what will it take to right the ship of black relationships? He said an act of God. We almost got it with Corona. No, but yeah. He said black women don't need to submit, just date and marry. Okay. Just date and marry a man who loves you and wants to spend the rest of their life with you. But be unsubmissive to this man who's doing all of that. He wants to date you, marry you, love you, and spend the rest of his life with you. But he need to just take her as she is. You don't need to conform to this man, RBR. I mean, it's not as bad if you replace commit with submit, but it don't get that much better. We need Book of Eli event. Shout out to you. There, I said it in the building. Black women have unified with the LGBTQRSTUV, pushing new wave family structure. Baby mama gay. I like that word. That works. And swinger culture. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Ramil, said he does not support the GBTQ community. He's down with the lesbian community. Well, no, he said GTQ, lesbian, bisexual women. I don't know. I'm not going to misquote Ramil. But he put that in an interesting way. But new wave family structure, baby mama gayetry, and swinger culture. Black men want what works for child development. Now, we will be remiss if we didn't point out there is a percentage of black men who are okay with this dysfunction. They benefit from it in the sense that they become looters in the Pussy Riot. They benefit from it. And they're happy about it. And they're happy with the status quo. Some of the people that push back to a lot of the stuff that we say are people that more or less benefit from the way things are. And I'll admit, post-marriage, when I was like on some, I ain't never getting in a relationship again, I was, single for the first time in my adult life. Yes, I dabbled. I did a little bit of looting at the Pussy Riot. I did. But so I understand. But even then, I wasn't going to fight against people who were talking about bringing order to the chaos. But I will concede the point that I partook of some of what can be considered the chaos. But eventually, I set my ass down somewhere. But that's just me. But shout out to everybody who has super chatted. No respect. Please don't curse in front of elders. You're talking about looking at a video of an elder? Like, come on now. How you a coach and cussing? What? Who told you? Are you talking about me? Who told you I was a damn coach? I'm a commentator. I give social commentary on black shit. Nobody's coach. If somebody find value in what I'm saying, then great. They find value in it. But no, I don't wear the title coach. But let's roll some more to footage. We've talked about enough to where we only almost an hour and a half in. So I'm not even going to get through most of this here. So I'm gonna end up opening this thing up before I even get through 10% of the video.
Well, no, I had to send some of my people to go buy it.
To go get it. Yeah.
But I did that. Plus, if it was the limo driver or the elevator operator, it didn't matter which black man it was, he was trying to get me to answer some question he had. Listen, my woman doing this here, my child doing that, to try to get an answer. So it was really an exciting, wonderful time. Our people were reading. They were on fire. A lot of black bookstores opened up just on the strength of selling the Black Man's Guide. And people had conferences. They would have conferences and wouldn't even invite me and go in there and deal with it, But it was great because we were going into community centers and people were discussing and talking about issues. One sister told me and my husband had the first real conversation we ever had. We've been married 20 years.
Right.
So, this is a real issue that we've had. And it comes back, I guess, about every generation. Someone will trigger it and kick it off and it'll go starting again. Now, what's interesting this time is that it's men and women who are doing, this talking because our men, as a rule, just have not been out talking about their relationships publicly.
Right.
And very important point right there. Very important point right there. And that's what really rubs people the wrong way. Shout out to Obsidian for, believe he coined, no, actually it was Tom Lakis, who said Vagina Vision Media. Obsidian put black in front of it, so I give Obsidian credit for this iteration of, the description for Vagina Vision Media. That yes, Black Vagina Vision Media has been a thing in the sense that black men have typically not talked about relationships. Just haven't publicly talked about relationships. Haven't publicly talked about, why things go awry. Women have had the dais on that. Women have talked about that. I mean, that's more or less dogma in the Manosphere, where we talk about that all the time. How women have all, TV shows, talk shows, and it's all been geared towards women. I remember somebody said that, is there a male equivalent of TV shows? Like, I mean, she named a few of the TV shows where women talk about their issues with men. She said, is there a male equivalent of a show like that? I'm like, yeah. You're watching it. I had to explain it that way. You're watching it, and more specifically now on a larger scale, it's being watched with Kevin Samuels, and that's why it's rubbing people the wrong way. They're not used to men being in the conversation, because the men who were always brought in the conversation were, got to shout out Obsidian again. They went through a certain filtering process to where they knew they were going to come up and just echo the sentiments of the women. That's the birth of the white knight, so there's that. Captain Sicko in the building. The church is preaching mutual submission. Ooh, yes, they are, but will not go into detail about what it means to be the head or headship. You are absolutely right, because all the stuff about the woman being obedient and submitting and this or that and all of this, they do the Jedi mind trick, and they say, oh, and husbands, it say you're supposed to love your wife like Christ loved the church, and Christ died for the church. So if you would die for somebody, ain't that a form of submission? So we just both got to all got to just submit to each other. Just submit. Everybody submit. Zero sum game, and now submission means nothing. All right, now get in there and deal with that out of pocket bitch. That's basically what the church is saying. Whew. Yeah. Shout out to you. Appreciate the super chat. Ozzy O in the building. He says the will and the black family don't need to be reinvented. We need more. We need to improve for the sake of the structure. We owe each other that plus some more. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Oh, this was many moons ago when I used to go to church. I don't go to a church right now, but when I used to go to a church, I was in a couple's Sunday school class, and that was kind of echoed. And also, whenever I've went to weddings, whenever the preacher would say something about and you owe him your obedience and blah blah, not the preacher. Well, the guy that married, you know how it works. When he's sitting there talking, and he would say something along the lines of you are to love, honor, and then he would be like, and obey, and and then he'd do like this, like cover up, like you thought they was about to throw tomatoes at him. People, it used to be a big uproar, a hoopla in the church when they used to talk about that. Yeah, be careful with the blood. What the hell? Sincere cracking up, you about to lose your wrench. I don't even know what Carlton Banks III said. I know he ain't saying nothing that wrong. He been rocking with me longer than you. You got a wrench and you going wild. And you going wild, timing people out. What's up with that, man? What the hell did he say? Because a pastor hitting it on the low? Okay, that's not a controversial statement around here. Pastor Poke Shop slanging dangalang. Like, we know the deal with that. That ain't a controversial statement around here. Why you time him out? Because the pastor hitting it on the low too? Shit. That's not a controversial statement. Like, come on, man. You don't like strike 3. I'm gonna give you one more strike. One more strike and you losing your range. One more strike. That range is gone. Yeah, I'm trying to manage some things. Yeah, don't throw me off. Don't throw me off. All right. Where we at here? Forgot where we was at. Kevin Samuels Defense Force in the building. I normally time out I normally get troll accounts out of here immediately. Yeah, should we let Kevin Samuels Defense Force rock or no? I don't know if we should let that one rock. Yeah, I'll let y'all be the judge of that one, whether or not we're gonna let Kevin Samuels Defense Force go ahead and rock. But I normally get the troll accounts out of here. I think we're gonna let him rock for a little bit. Okay, I'm getting a lot of letters. Okay, he cool. Y'all interacted with him. I think I saw him on a panel. I think I saw him on a panel before. If he's just having fun and making jokes in good spirit, then okay, then we'll let him rock. But let's keep an eye on it. Feed him to the lions. All right. I saw enough. Let them rock. We're gonna let them rock. But I normally get rid of troll accounts, even though the fake Cynthia G account, I let that one rock because that stuff is funny. That stuff is funny. So fake Cynthia G and Kevin Samuels Defense Force are the only two troll accounts that I let rock as of right now. All right. She about to say something good and something controversial. And I think we're going to end it right there and probably open it up after that point, after this next point. We were talking about, or they were just talking about how it is a new day now with men talking about it. And these relationships are being discussed from a male perspective. And that is a good thing. That is a good thing. But he about to ask her a good question and she about to give a controversial answer. I'll give my commentary on that and we can open it up going forward at that point right there because we almost at the 2-hour mark.
Talk about that in your book. I remember reading that. That's actually in the preface of the book, saying that we haven't had the voice, right, to be able to speak about these things very authentically. So I gotta ask as well, because I think you're familiar with this section of YouTube of men now voicing their opinion of the relationships with the Black woman. So I just gotta hear your thoughts of the information that you've seen thus far.
Well, we have to be careful with that, especially when it's coming from men. I think that a lot of men who are talking about us as Black females out here have a little bit more ulterior motives, even though a lot of their points, some of them are good, but some of the men sound like they have either been turned down by a woman or turned out by a man. And I'm not sure which one it is yet. So I just listen and just see. But it comes around, as I said, about every generation.
Uh-oh. I agree exactly with what Mediocre Tutorials was saying when he was like, uh-oh. Like I said, the sister Shaharazad Ali be dropping some bombs. But like I said before, she's not completely in the tank with everything with the Manosphere. Shout out to the Heartbreakosphere. That's what Obsidian was on. Saying that a lot of dudes just heartbroken. The who hurt you? I don't know how I feel about that. We're old man kind of embracing the who hurt you argument. I don't know how I feel about that one, but he argues his case quite well. But she pretty much went there. She pretty much went there with the who hurt you argument. I didn't like the gay thing. She basically just threw that out. Somebody said she ain't lying though. She's not lying about some people get into these conversations. There's some men, and I've had some back and forth right here and right during my show, live interaction with some people, right now on this show that we were listening to right now with some people who are coming in these conversations in good faith. And it could be, they mad at the Black community. They mad because, over some rejection, or like Obsidian was talking about, somebody broke their heart. And put it like this is what I've always said. There are content creators who have a cerebral approach in analyzing these things, and they make a lot of good points and they make a lot of good arguments. And I think she alluded to that. But then there are some people who, because they're pissed off about their personal stuff, I think I said this in the beginning of the show, because they're pissed off about their personal stuff, they use the good arguments that are made, Obsidian's better arguments where his better arguments, if you go back to 2017 Obsidian and a lot of things that he's laying out, like people can always, try to, wrap Obsidian up, try to, kind of trying to hold his feet to the fire or get critical over things that he said about his personal life, because when it's personal, it's like it's easy to shoot shots and criticize and like that. But when Obsidian's not talking about his personal, but when he's being very strict and stringent on the facts, the details, and laying out his argument, a lot of the stuff that he said did write the framework of a lot of the discussions that we have here. Angry Man as well. Some people will use the better arguments from Obsidian. Some people will use the good arguments that are made by Angry Man about Black women and Black relationships as a whole. They will use that as just their springboard to bash women and not grow. If you understand what I'm saying. There are some bad actors that do that, and they're normally nameless, faceless chat room people. But with the advent of the drop the link, some of those nameless, faceless people can come up and remain nameless and faceless and speak on the panel and say a bunch of crazy shit filled from their personal hurt and discomfort. So that much is true. So a fair criticism could be made about this space because of that. But going there with the gay thing, Trade MBD said she went full strag. I'm not gonna say that, but going there with the turned out by a man, yeah, she could have kept that. She could have kept that. I mean, I don't know the connection where a guy has a gay moment and that all of a sudden he hates women. Now, it's no evidence for that. That's something that, yes, the strag view. Okay. Let me try to I'm trying to make a good point here. That's something that a lot of Black women quite often arguing in bad faith has made up. That's something that a lot of Black women arguing in bad faith has made up. That's some stuff that Derek Jackson even said. Most of the dudes that criticize women, and this is long before Kevin Samuels blew up. There's clips of him saying that most of the dudes who criticize women, they most of them gay. They don't even like women. He said that while moving his head, like, okay, I'm gonna keep it clean. But yeah, that's an argument that's founded on nothing. That's an argument that's founded on nothing. All the evidence that we have of men who are either gay, they get along just fine with Black women. And if they're bisexual, they getting along just fine with Black women in more ways than one. There's no evidence that the man who's critical of women does not is gay. There's no correlation. Like when people make that argument, they're making a correlation equals causality argument without even first establishing a correlation. You have to first establish that there's a correlation before you can even get to the correlation equals causality. And that's what a lot of Black women do when they try to charge brothers who criticize women up with being gay. Now, if she want to go with some of the Black men that get in these conversations are purely from a perspective of they've been either hurt or rejected by Black women, and that's what they're doing. They're just venting off their hurt. There's a lot of people that fit that description. That part can't be denied. But the gay part, I do gotta call a flag on the play on that one. And I do want to roll more of the tape because she said a lot of good things. So I don't want to end it on that on that note, but we will come up to some degree and talk about that because she said a lot of great things, but that was one controversial part of what she said. But like I said, she's not all the way in the tank. There's a lot of things that you can clearly tell she agrees with this what Black men are saying on. There's some things where she goes the other way, but overall, she's definitely an ally. But those who go so hard against Black women to where they can get to a point where they're no different than the Black women that they criticize because they want the separation all the same, Well, I won't say no different than the black woman they criticize, because they want to separate because the black woman is out of pocket. But if you don't want to see nothing work out, on a macro scale for black people, then I understand from her perspective, you're dead to me. And then she basically says that later on in the show. If you don't want to see black families work out, then you're done. There's nothing to talk about, So I do understand that. Let me acknowledge some folks. Shout out to Rod of God Podcast. She need to put her DK stick to getting black women in line. Be go easy. Be nice. Pastor, let Kevin Samuels defense first on the panel. His gaze and voice are epic, and he talks to Elon Musk. No. Thank you for the $10. Appreciate that.
I'll be damned. I'll die and go to hell and play blackjack with the devil before I give you $10. That's what I want to know.
Shout out to Black Wolf Inc. in the building. Shout out to Black Wolf Inc. Says he can't wait for the panel. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with this panel as well. I'm very interested. And I'm glad that brother Xavier is here. I'm glad he is here because somebody corrected me when I said Shaharazad Ali comes to the Manosphere in the title. Somebody pointed out that brother that she's came to the Manosphere because she's been on brother Xavier's show plenty of times. So got to give a salute to brother Xavier who has brought her here plenty of times. So if I was to reword that, I would reword it by saying she came to a bigger, broader Manosphere platform. But you are the one who I first time I heard her speak is on your show. So I do got to give salute and shout out to brother Xavier in the building. Do got to give a salute and shout out to him. Yeah, I think somebody is saying she mentioned him yesterday. So yeah, definitely shout out to the good brother Xavier from the Prophet of Thought series. He's one who's been ushering Shaharazad Ali into the door of the Manosphere for a while now. So definitely salute. Let's see. Who else did we have in the building? Sister Ali has been here way before this. Absolutely. Sister Ali has been there way before this. Absolutely. I'm trying to find something. But no, at the beginning of the show, I had to properly acknowledge you. At the beginning of the show. Glad and proud to do it now. Brother Xavier will always be friend of the show, and he needs his proper acknowledgement. Absolutely. There, I said it. He says, gay men tend to agree with black women, even emulate, uplift them. Many professional / polished men do have that Kevin Samuels energy and are very hetero. Thank you for the super chat. The truth of what you're saying is that, yeah, most gay men, yeah, they tend to agree. They are guaranteed they a liberal voting male feminist who don't have no critique of black women. Like, come on. Snuggles in the building. Shout out to Snuggles.
Hi, I'm Snuggle. Snuggly softness. That's really less expensive.
I hate when that bear start climbing over the Snuggles thing. It don't look like it's about to climb through the screen. There's Black Wolf. I am telling Bernard. Do you think you could get Miss Ali or someone like her to question them, Bernard? Do you think you could get Miss Ali or someone like her to question them? Question who? Question who? Type in the chat exactly what you mean. Question who? But shout out to you. Appreciate the super chat. Black Wolf back in the buildings. It says Snuggles, don't be dissing me. You know how I do. Somebody says creepy. Yeah. All right, we're gonna roll a little bit of it. The link is about to get dropped in the chat.
Awesome. And let me also touch on this because and I had the
I
opportunity.
never bothered to say it, but fair use. I'm sure mediocre tutorials and reviews don't mind if I use his stuff because he's has one of the biggest, baddest, bestest platforms in all of Black YouTube using everybody else's stuff. So I'm sure he don't mind if somebody does some reviews and gets active without further ado on his stuff. But I do want to take the time to say fair use. Shout out to mediocre tutorials though. Do got to shout him out.
To go and read through the book, and I read it from cover to cover, and I'll tell you what, like I'm looking I was reading through the book, and it was like every chapter that I went through, I was thinking about
Why are people snagging this $89 portable AC? I recently discovered how to refrigerate.
another past dating relationship, something. I'm like, oh, that's why that happened. It was amazing. And so within the book, and you've been criticized famously for the critique or just speaking about the behavior, right? So thinking through what that is, right? Can you talk about the importance of the
What is that $15.99 for? Was that a previous conversation going on, or is that like it's the thought that counts super chat you just dropped right there? Yeah, that's what people start doing. I'm broke if I broke, but I'm just gonna type $50 and push enter. That's a thought that counts super chat. I don't know what that is. It must be a previous conversation. It must have been a previous conversation with that. She was right. We should ask ourselves whether this space should be just a Lonely Hearts Club. But it's not, though. All right. That's where I gotta give pushback. Some individuals operate like that, and there are some individuals who damn near they don't want it to be like that, but those are the implications of some of their talking points. But channels like mine are the evidence that this is not the space. The numbers that I get and the things that I talk about is evidence that everybody is not on some lonely heart stuff or a force to uplift our men and boys first. See, what I don't like or what you're doing, you're basically, you could be doing this and I could be wrong, but you could be trying to imply that anybody who got some critique of women, that you just sad and lonely and can't get no pussy, and that's why you're talking about women, and instead we should be talking about uplifting boys. It's almost like that's like a play on the protect them from criticism type of deal. And if you're criticizing, it's because you can't get no pussy. That's what it sounds like. Sound like you're trying to say. No, there are sensible discussions to be had about Black men and Black women and all the social dynamics between Black men and Black women as it pertains. Not only to, but also to, interpersonal relationships between Black men and Black women. That's a discussion that it's okay for men to have, and don't mean you can't get no pussy because you're having a conversation. Like I said, I'm in a happy relationship with a Black woman with a small waist and a fat ass. But so I'm my dick is happy and I'm not lonely, but these conversations are still meaningful. So but there are some people. Truth is I know it, man. That's my boy. He can hit me with the Hit me with the $1,500. It's the thought that counts super chat, man. Like, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. I shouldn't have started that. I ain't gonna get no more super chat. Niggas just gonna be dropping IOUs. Shout out to Rod. Shout out to the Rod of God podcast. Hit me with a real one. Y'all gonna be super chatting Monopoly money, man. I shouldn't have started that. I blame you, Queen Aries. I am. I'm an Aries queen, bitch. How you like when somebody put bitch like that at the end of your name? See, I think you hear it like, I am Queen Aries, bitch. I mean, no, I am Aries. I am Aries queen, bitch. I think that's how you hear it, but I hear it. I am Aries queen. Long pause and then look at you, bitch. That's how I hear it. I don't think you hear it that way. I think you hear, I am Queen Aries, bitch. No, I am Queen Aries. No, I keep saying it backwards. I am Aries queen. Long pause. Bitch. Shout out to the Rod of God podcast. Y'all know how we do whenever we get a $100 super chat. We got to have Smokey count it for us. Make sure it's all there.
20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140.
Wait a minute, that's $100.
I would like to issue out my formal apology to Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews because I paused this at a moment where it looked like he's really enjoying this interview. So I'd like to give my formal apologies. I didn't realize I had it paused right there where it looks like you're just enjoying this interview too much. Let me
coexist.
Okay, let me help you out. All right, there you go. And now you're making the Ice Cube scowl in that one, but we'll work with that one versus having you looking like you're just enjoying the interview too much. All right, I apologize. I apologize for that one. All right. Had you paused at a really bad moment there. Snuggles. No, not Snuggles. Black Wolf. But he's talking about Snuggles. That's that 10,000 at Snuggles. Beat that. Man, killing me with the fake super chats. Shout out to Black Wolf. Oh man, y'all be killing me. Y'all be killing me. A sower of seed just dropped a meal on me, an IOU meal or a thought to count meal on me. He said, I'm buying you out in your company, BRA. That's the number. I can be bought and sold for that much. You got me. You got me. Shout out to Snuggles. Once again, appreciate you coming through with the
Hi, I'm Snuggles.
Shout out to, I cut it short. I didn't want to see that bear climb over the logo. It just looked like the ring where she came out of the TV. It's kind of scary. But I had to cut it short that time. But oh man. He said $1 quintillion. Oh man. Yeah. Hey, hold on, Body Thug, because Kevin Samuels said 1.3 million. That was his number at the early stage of him blowing up. That was pre-Miss Average at best, but his buyout was 1.3 million back then. I tend to believe his buyout has that number is going up. That number has gone up a bit. If Laro couldn't buy him out then, I'm pretty sure Laro ain't buying out Kevin Samuels right now. is a whole nother thing. I tend to believe that buyout number may be in the hundreds of million. Well, in the 50 million range. You'd be shocked if a business is just making $100,000 a year. That business probably has an evaluation in the millions, So that 1.3 million, it didn't come from nowhere. Just know that. So right now we can. I don't know any insider information here. I don't know any insider information, but we can just do the math on the analytics, on the numbers, on the YouTube CPM, plug Kevin Samuels numbers in there, and you can tell that he easily making he's a millionaire now. There's no way around that. Then there's the super chats. He's a million without the super chats. Then there's the super chats. So I tend to believe if a business is making $1 million, that buyout is going to be pretty damn high. But me, I can get bought out for $1 million. I can get bought out for $1 million. Yeah. I can get bought out for $1 million. David Johnson, the asshole, is in the building. Says, right, Bernard 100. I've gotten plenty of pussy. That's how I used to say it. I used to see his videos on Instagram. That's exactly why I'm qualified and experienced to talk about BFF. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That is a very true statement. I hate when people try to make it seem like these whole conversations come from the place of scarcity. Come from the place of not getting sexual access, as if men who get sexual access don't get a more intimate view of what's wrong with women, or what's wrong with relationships, or what's wrong in this case, Black relationships. Shout out to Dr. Umar Johnson, who went after the YouTubians. We could see quite well and quite easily when he went through his situation, that situation was real situated. And somebody who has sexual access still had a lot of talking points very similar to the things that we say. So it's not about sexual access. Now, some conversations are about that. And those conversations can be had on their merits and can be right or wrong on their merits. But don't try to make it seem like any criticism, any critique, or any conversation led by a man about the social dynamics and or interpersonal relationships between Black men and Black women is coming from a place of he just can't get no pussy. That's bunk. That is bunk. So shout out to David Johnson, that asshole. I almost said that like Meet the Fockers would have, I think Meet the Fockers 2. Or it's Meet the Parents, and then it was Meet the Fockers. So Meet the Fockers was part 2, where the little boy was like, asshole. Snuggles back in the building. He says, to infinity and beyond dollars. And I want to see the bear climb, because the dog that's the dog. Oh, I see what you're saying, because you call him a puppy. So the puppy / wolf can't do that. All they do is yell. Oh, yeah, be killing me.
Hi, I'm Snuggle. Snuggly softness. That's really less expensive.
Shout out to Coach Ali. Oh, wait, no, that's not Coach Ali. That's Coach Ali. Shout out to Coach Ali Corner. Said a quick suggestion: whenever Black Wolf donates, have you considered using the actual NWO Wolfpack theme? I wasn't sure if that's the one that he wanted on there, but the NWO theme is more popular and got a better ring to it. Like when he said the NWO theme, I instantly knew that when I started to remember what the Wolfpack theme was, I couldn't even remember it. So I went with the more popular one. So there's that. But shout out to you. Floyd L. Holt in the building. Kevin Samuels, Dennis Sperling, and the lead attorney are bringing more productive Black men into the Black Manosphere. We need to protect this space. The Manosphere is full of productive black men. It doesn't get enough credit for that. They like to try to depict and typecast us as basement dwelling losers. They like to depict and typecast us as that, basement dwelling losers that can't get no pussy, but are also crying because they on child support and ruining the black community by impregnating all the women and not taking care of them. I don't know how you could be an incel and a loser that can't get no pussy, but also a crying beta male on child support. I don't know how that works. I don't know how you can be both of those at the same time. But that's their argument. That is their argument. Now, if they were smart, they would take the time and say there's a percentage that fall in this category, there's a percentage that fall in this category, there's a percentage that fall in this category. And if they do that, I hope they will be fully intellectually honest and say, and there's a percentage that don't fall in either one of those categories. They're just having a sensible conversation and we disagree with what they're saying. And here's the reason why. But no, they always go to the stereotypes to try to refute the better arguments that are being made. And that's how you know you are not arguing in good faith. Shout out to Deacon Dave. Sent a $5 super chat, but he super chatted shit emoji, $2 super sticker. I don't understand what you mean by that and what to do with that information. All right, I'm gonna roll a little bit of this. Even though I did drop the link in the chat, y'all can come on up. I'm gonna roll a little bit more of this, but we can go ahead and get a panel opened up here.
Between the black man and the black woman in the face of the modern feminism as it exists today?
Well, a lot of our behavior, we haven't really made certain decisions about, because so many things have been shattered of certain standards and values and mores that now it's difficult to ascertain what is considered bad for us, what is considered good for us. And a lot of times when you bring up things that have historically been good for us, people say that's old school, that's old timey, and that they don't too much want to deal with that. They think we're living in a modern time where things have changed. And they have changed. But change don't mean better. Change just means different. So a lot of what we used to stand for and be with has changed for the worse.
You know, and let's talk about that as well, because, you know, you were critiqued for, you know, essentially labeling the black woman, and this is 30 years ago, and I can't believe it's been 30 years, but as out of control. And you mentioned that within the book. And then I look towards what we experience from like a content perspective today, and there's media out there that women put out, and they seem to put on a pedestal the idea of being out of control, or even calling themselves savages. How do you feel about that?
I think it's terrible. They even have clothing lines where our little children and adults are walking around with the word "I'm a savage" or "I hate men" and all of this kind of stuff. It's very bad for us because we are really a face value people, and we accept a lot of things on imagery and words and things, and we'll start to believe that, and we'll wear that with pride only because it's a contemporary use of the language of something that's popular right now. It's hard to keep our attention very long, but when we get onto something that, you know, it can be a bracelet, it can be the UGG sneaker, it could be the Nikes, it doesn't matter. When we get hold to some white people's name or something that we think has a great value, then we will accept that and be proud of that. But we are not what we wear. And that we've never differentiated that. We're not what we wear.
Oh,
it don't
shoot,
matter
hold
how
on.
many Pradas
Stop
and
the
Chanels
show.
and
Stop
all of
the
that
show.
you wear. You ain't none of them white people. And they probably
Stop the show. Because my main man, Brother Xavier from TPOT Media, open your mind and wake your black ass up. Shout out to X in the building. What's going on?
You always peace, brother Bernard. You always crack me up, man, when you do impersonations of me, man. That shit tickles the hell out of me, man.
I almost got your voice down, man. It's like I'm trying to get just a little more raspy up in here. When I get a little, I probably had to get probably like 10 years older. I get a little more in there.
Yeah. You get this voice from smoking a lot of good cigars. That's where it comes from. That's where the shit comes from.
Yeah. But what's going on? Before I go to you, let me acknowledge the super chat real quick. Big Mag, the Fisher, looking like Mr. Potato Head's great granddaddy in that picture. Shout out to you. I don't know what's up with that with your avatar picture, but shout out to you. And I don't know what the hell you're talking about anyway. He says, can't find my walking shoes. Anybody see them around here? I appreciate you. Before the Billions in the building, he says, good afternoon, Bernard. MTR dropped a ton of gems last night. I had to show my girlfriend the live stream. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me you have a girlfriend? You get sex every now and then? Wow, that's amazing. I thought people in this space didn't get pussy. All right. Sketch 1001 says, have you noticed how the Breakfast Club will have Minister Farrakhan on their show, but not have her on their show? Hint, hint. Good observation. All right, brother Xavier, what is on your mind?
Yeah, I just figured I'd come up, man, because maybe people don't know. Well, I guess they should know that. I mean, I know Sister Ali personally. I mean, Sister Ali has been coming on my show ever since I was in radio, back in 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. I mean, she's been on my show multiple times. I mean, so,
right.
I guess because they have a bigger platform, it seems like, oh my God, Sister Ali is here. Man, I had Sister Ali on my show like 5 years ago. Like when I first started doing YouTube, she was like one of the first people that I had on, like back in the day, like 2016. It's been that long.
Talk about that. Give the backstory on how you came to know her. I assumed it was because you used to, if I understand it right, used to be Nation of Islam or something like that. So just give the backstory of how you know her personally.
Well, I met her through radio. I used to work for a radio station. I used to have a radio talk show. I worked for Nubia Hood Radio many years ago. And that's how I got to know her, met, people like Dr. Umar and people like that, because we traveled a lot. We had like a street team, plus, this TPOT thing, man, used to be like 8-9 people. I had a producer, I had a digital engineer, all right, I had a sound engineer, I had correspondents, it's like 9 of us. And we used to go to these things, man. We used to go to like when they did their seminars, when they did their speeches, when they do, all that kind of stuff. I mean, we used to be around them. We used to be around these people all the time. And I met her through radio. I met her through that. And I can get on my show probably pretty much anytime I want, for the most part. I mean, we hit it off a long time ago. I mean, I have all her books. She sends me autographed copies, all that kind of stuff. I always know where she's touring and stuff like that because she hits me up. She writes me. We talk from time to time. We don't talk a lot, but we do talk, pretty often. Her and I talk pretty often. So, yeah.
I acknowledged earlier in the show that I'm probably going to change the title because somebody had pointed out the error in the title when I said Sister Shaharazad Ali comes to the Manosphere. Somebody had pointed out. Now she's been here before on Brother Xavier's channel, so I was like, oh yeah, so I definitely dropped the ball right there. Charge it to my mind, not my heart, but as they say, but no, definitely no. I do understand that you do got a direct line to her. I've talked to her multiple times. Actually, the very first time I ever heard her speak, it was on your platform. So definitely salute and shout out to you for that. And if I heard you right, you said that you Dr. Umar Johnson. You did say that name just now, or no?
Yeah. I know Dr. Umar too. I know him too.
This is kind of off subject, but what is Dr. Umar like? When the camera not rolling, what is he like?
Believe it or not, all right. And I know people may not agree with this, but off camera, because I've sat and I've chopped it up with Dr. Umar, and he's actually a decent guy. He's very.
Hold on, I got to get rid of Kevin Samuels Defense Force. I'm not bringing you up. I'm not about to make a joke out of this. I'm kicking you from the studio, but I can't just even leave you down there because those damn eyes, those purple eyes were just. I could just see him doing like this the whole time, and it was distracting. So I had to boot you from the studio. Not bringing you up, but go ahead. Well, just to respond real quick to what you just said. I can believe that he's off camera he comes off as a decent guy, and we even saw when I had Mr. Palmer up here, he was playing. I think what would have to amount to is a more honest, more honest, candid version of Dr. Umar Johnson when he was talking about his kids and how she was, basically jerking him around through the system about his kids, and we can see that he's just a brother like the rest of us. So, but then there's the public image and public persona. But I can believe that behind the scenes that is probably a decent person there. But you were talking, so I interrupted you because that Kevin Samuels Defense Force, y'all can't see what I see, but trust me, it was distracting. He had that purple light flashing down there. That had to boot him. But go ahead. You're saying something.
Yeah, he's actually a decent guy, in person, when the cameras are off and all that kind of crap and you just kind of talking to him. He's actually a pretty earthy kind of guy. He's pretty down to earth. I mean, talking to him, he's got a different persona, when he's in front of the cameras or he's doing his speeches, he's a little more animated and all that kind of stuff. But, the last time I spoke to him, now I haven't spoke to Dr. Umar. I haven't spoken to Dr. Umar in person in about, I don't know, I guess about 2 years since we spoke in person, but we have spoke on the phone, and he's been on my show a couple times, over the course of the last couple of years. And if you listen to him on like a show or like a stream or something, and then you talk to him right after that, man, he's totally different. He's a totally different person. He is. He actually is, man. But that's kind of how it is, man, with a lot of people, especially if you have one of those names. If you have a name out there, you're going to try to live up to that name when you're, in front of people, when you're on TV, when you're online. But, when you get away from that, man, and the cameras and the mics are off, man, you actually get to see the real person most of the time. So, but like I said, I haven't spoke to Umar in person in at least 2 years. Yeah, at least 2 years.
Mm-hmm. The Mac the trucker in the building with the super chat, he says TPOT is like the Morgan Freeman of the Manosphere. Salute, brothers. Yeah, he got the voice. He got the voice.
And can I just address something in your chat? Something I don't normally do, but I will address it this time.
Yes.
For you black ass Negroes.
Uh-oh.
There's people in the chat saying that, I'm trying to take credit, I'm jealous, and all this kind of foolishness. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not trying to take credit for anything. I mean, you can look through my catalog of the stuff that I have and see, all right, and see what I've done. I mean, I didn't just come here like yesterday. I've been around here for a long time. And a lot of the people you see being interviewed and shit now, in 2020 and 2021, I was interviewing these people back in 2015, man, 2016. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. All right. So, I mean, I don't have to be jealous of anyone or, try to, take credit. How can I take credit for something that someone else did? I can only take credit for what I did. All right. Negroes. But anyway, go ahead, Brother Bernard.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm handling chat room issues because an individual that I gave fair warning is out here still clowning. So I'm trying to remove a wrench. But anyway, I'll get to that when I get to it.
Told you need to get a bot. Told you before, you need a bot in here, man. Just chop these fools' heads off. Your numbers will drop, but guess what? Your chat will be a lot cleaner, man. It'll be
yeah, my chat room.
yeah,
Well, really,
it'll be a lot
it's
cleaner.
the moderators who are wilding out right now. So I did, yeah.
De-wrench them.
Yeah, no,
De-wrench
just
them.
did. I just did. Somebody just lost their wrench. But yeah. No, I'm already on it. Wealthy firefighter. He says out of control mod, sincere cracking up. Yeah, he just got de-wrenched. All right, so that problem that problem is solved. But all right, to back to brother Xavier and with your sister Shaharazad Ali. What would you say? I mean, I don't know if you listened to this conversation that he had with her.
No, I didn't. I didn't catch it.
Okay, yeah. So let's talk about the conversations that you've had with her, or if there's been some conversations behind the scenes, if there's some insider information about her and how she tell us a little bit about her, because we see her speaking, and whenever you see somebody speaking with a microphone in their face and a camera, even if they're the most honest person, there's an element of performance, of which we all understand that you do have to have some stage presence about yourself to where it can turn into a performance. But camera's not rolling. What do you get from her? What do you gather from her? What's your overall thoughts, takeaway, any story that you could possibly tell? Just what's your overall general thoughts and conversations and discussions with her off camera, if you comfortable with telling something?
Yeah, I don't think she'll mind if I told some of this stuff. From what I know, from what I know about Sister Ali over the years, she's pretty sincere. We pretty much talk about the same things that she would talk about if she came on a stream. She talks about the same thing if you talk to her, on the telephone or via email or whatever case may be. She pretty much sticks to the script for the most part. She's not an overly political person. I can tell y'all that. She's not an overly political person, and she's not an overly judgmental person. She's pretty fluid when it comes to people, and she always gives everybody the benefit of the doubt. I know from what she's told me, there's quite a few places she will not go. Depending on who you are, she may or may not show up to your stuff. Because the first thing you do if you get in contact with her, the first thing she's gonna want to do is see what you do. All right, she's gonna want to see a couple streams. She's gonna want to hear some radio shows, because she want to get a feel for what you do.
Right.
And if she doesn't like what you do, she won't come nowhere near your platform. She won't. She's not coming nowhere near your platform. She doesn't like what you do. So that's something to keep in mind for folks who want to try to get her on their stuff, which she's willing. She will come on your stuff. She will come, but after she's reviewed, 2 or 3 streams or the videos you do, then she'll decide whether or not she'll be bothered with you. Because I'm pretty sure this is what she made the brother do. When he reached out to her and said, could you come on? She probably wanted to see a little bit of his catalog first, I'm sure. And she probably liked what she saw on there. And, she decided to come up, obviously. Now, once she gets to know you and know who you are, that's different. She'll make arrangements for you. She'll be like, yeah, I can come on, X, Y, and Z day, whatever case may be. But that initial interview you get with her, you're going to have to show her some of your stuff, or she's not coming. I can tell you that. She's not coming.
Right on. Ray Clemens in the building. He says, those are facts. Brother Xavier had a show called Nubia Hood Radio, and he interviewed a bunch of people. Absolutely. Thank you for the super chat. Ray Clemens, appreciate it. Now, you said something that kind of need to be unpacked a little bit when you said she's you said she's not judgmental. Now, overall, it's hard to be critical without being judgmental, or at least not coming off that way. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you're being a critic of something, or a critic of a group of people, when you're highlighting the things that they're doing that's wrong, it turns into a very difficult thing to be a critic of something, a critic of people, but not judgmental of those people. So how exactly, explain exactly how that works with her? Well, one would think that she is judgmental to some degree. We're talking about everything.
You gotta look at the generation that she comes out of, right? I believe Sister Ali is a boomer, right? So she has the undying hope for Black folks. I believe that's what I believe. You know, she loves Black people. She wants Black people to do right, but at the same time, she doesn't have any problem calling out the BS. All right, she'll call out the BS inside of her undying hope for, you know, Black society's progress, but she will point out the problem. She will point out the crisis. She will point out, you know, what needs to be fixed now. But I don't think she'll mind if I say this for her. I think she genuinely just loves Black people. All right. And I don't say that about many females, all right, because it's hard to say that about most females. But from what I know about Sister Ali, she genuinely loves Black folks. Genuinely.
What do you think about the dynamic? And we deal with this in the Manosphere when we call out things that we see wrong with Black people, even if we genuinely care about Black people. I can tell you care about Black people. I care about Black people. When we call out things that are wrong, now you don't necessarily get tagged with this, but a lot of us do get tagged with the whole with or you're a coon and you're this or you're that. And women very rarely get called coons, but I do see parallels between how they react to her for calling out the things that women do versus how Black people get react to, or Black men get reacted to or responded to for when we call out things that are wrong, whether we calling out the men or we calling out the women. Is coon, is this, is that. Well, do you see the parallels on how she's facing the same thing, even though they may not be using the word coon at her, because they really can't, because she's clearly as pro-Black as they come. But so they can't really use that word. And I think that's why they're at a loss for even trying to articulate what their problem is.
Well, when you think about a Sister Ali, right? She's beyond most of us here in YouTube, right? She has way more influence. She's been pumping the fist for Black people for 3 decades, if not longer. So her credibility can't be, you know, you can't assail her credibility. You can't assail her devotion to Black folks and Black society's problems. There's no way you can kind of assail that. But if you think of it like this, because of how she speaks, which is how she's been speaking for the past 35 years, if she was 35 years younger, they would be calling her a pick-me. They would be saying she's a mammy. That's what they would be saying. That's what they would be saying. If Sister Ali was, say, 35 years younger, and, you know, she was kind of making her rounds, you know, on media and on people's streams, they would be calling her a pick-me. They would be calling her a mammy. The pick-me, I understand. I don't understand the mammy thing. They totally use the word mammy out of context. All right. I mean,
Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started.
I don't even know why they say that word, but, you know, Black folks, we always like to turn words around and make them mean something different. But yeah, that's where she would be because of how she talks. You know, she doesn't toe the whole hotep line. You know, she's not a hotep, you know, in that sense where, you know, she covers or like you say, spray cologne on
over the
she
shit.
doesn't, yeah, she don't spray cologne on the shit. So that's something she doesn't do. She does, it's and in both with her. You know what I'm saying? It's and in both because she speaks on the behalf of Black folks, but she also talks about the issues and dysfunctions of Black folks. So it's and in both with her. So, you know, she would be if they wanted to label her, they would be labeling her, I guess, a coon tep at the same time, you know, the big coon tep. You know, that's yeah, they'd have to come.
Is that a thing? Or did you just make that up?
Yeah, I just made that up.
Coon
I just made that. Yeah, she's a coon tap. You know, a coon and a hotep at the same time. You know, but we know what this is, Brother Bernard, and this is the thing. Sister Ali wrote that book, what, back in 1989, 88. She wrote that book, you know, The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. So if you listen to some of the things that get spoke about here on YouTube, that a lot of those things are word for word, man. You know, you're talking word for word stuff. So Sister Ali is, of course, ahead of her time. Either that or she's just this person that can see into the future and what it was going to be. Because like I said, a lot of us, we parrot her words word for word when it comes to women. All right. And see, the fact that she is a woman, it's hard for them to attack her the way she wants to, the way they want to. And not only that, you look at Sister Ali now, man, she's like a folk hero. You know, she's beyond famous. She's beyond, you know, she's sort of like a folk hero when it comes to Black folks. All right. Well respected and well regarded. Now, of course, you're always going to have detractors. You know, you're going to have detractors who say, like I said, call her pygmy, call her mammy, call her all this kind of stuff. But her reputation is never going to be assailed. Why? Because of the people who are trying to disparage her image and disparage her credibility and disparage her message. They're nowhere near her. You know, they're nowhere near her in stature. They're nowhere near her in fame. They're nowhere near her in, you know, success as far as, you know, pushing one type of black agenda. There's no one, the people who are assailing her are nowhere near her when it comes to, you know, that particular scale, that step, that pyramid. They're nowhere near her, man, because you don't have people way up there of influence really trying to assail Sister Ali. It's always usually people on the ground. You know, she's not getting rushed by tigers. You know, she's getting ants crawling on her damn boot. You understand? Ants crawling on her boot. All right. She's not getting ran. She's not getting charged by tigers. You know, you got 2 or 3 ants that's trying to crawl up her boot. So, I mean, that's pretty much what it is, man. It's pretty much what it is. She's beyond the rank and file people who try to assail her, man. And I don't just say that because I know her. I say that because that's what it is. You know, that's what it is. They may not like it, but it's true. And most of the people who assail her, she wouldn't give their ass the time of day. She wouldn't give them the time of day.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Sick lid in the building. I thought you already had a wrench, so I gave you a wrench. He said, do your brother think she would appoint a successor? I nominate Jessica X. So after Jessica X and her, what she does is valuable, but successor to sister Shaharazad Ali, no, the successor can't be a British Blackish woman who never placed boots on the ground in America. However, her voice is valuable to what we do here. I give her props as a content creator, and she is a vicious, brilliant, now use that word, savage debater. I give Jessica X her props, but no. She can't be the successor. No. I vote no on that. But shout out to you. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Appreciate that. David Johnson, the asshole in the building, says, does anybody else notice how all the women black men like and respect, black women don't like? Ooh, boy. Black women don't like and respect, i.e. Shaharazad Ali, Jessica S, Kendra D. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. You make a really make a really good point there. David Johnson. Appreciate that. Actually, I'm gonna throw that to Xavier after we acknowledge Snuggles back in the building. She says, you have to remember Jessica X is technically half devil, even though Elijah was, but that's neither here nor there. Okay. All right.
Hi, I'm Snuggle.
Shout out to Snuggles. Says she half devil. All right. There's a lot of people who agree with that statement. Leo Anthony in the building. Sister Ali is the shining example of what it looks like when women hold other women accountable. That's why she deserves the praise she gets. Thank you very much. Shout out to you. Appreciate you, Leo Anthony. Going back, where was that at? I think that was David Johnson. Yeah, okay. He says, does anyone else notice how all the women black men like and respect, black women don't like and respect? I.e. Shaharazad Ali, Jessica S, Kendra D. What's your thoughts on that? Because I think he makes a really good point. People, black women that we hear and we say, okay, they're saying what makes sense. They're speaking up for things that make sense, especially, there's no shade to Jessica X, but just particularly with just Sister Shaharazad Ali and Kendra D are talking about that. It's different when boots on the ground in Black America talking about black issues between black men and black women. You can clearly see that yes, they're ultimately fighting for the black family, where you can look at people who push back and fight against them. It's almost to some degree that they gotta be fighting against it. So it blows my mind that people who would probably consider themselves pro-black will fight against somebody who's fighting for black families. And so it blows my mind that black men will respect them for that, even though there's some bad actors who probably just like Sharazad Ali because she's calling out these bitches. Some people there's some bad actors and we acknowledge those and she acknowledged them, but there are black men who look at what she's doing as a good thing because she is speaking up for black families and what will ultimately be good black outcomes. What is your thoughts about the mere fact that a percentage of black men definitely respect that? Then there's a percentage of black women, a very large percentage, who when they're fighting for that, they turn around and then they don't respect it. They have a lack of respect for the women that we respect for fighting a good fight. What's your thoughts on that, brother Xavier?
Well, it goes back to the whole mammy thing. When they see these women who talk this way, right? The women who don't come from a standpoint that, men bad, women good. They don't come from that standpoint. So when people hear that, they often accuse these women of, kind of pandering to us. We talk about pandering and how other people pander, so they feel the same way. I think a lot of the women who give people like Sister Ali a lot of pushback, they think that she's pandering to us men. That's the problem.
You saying they think that she's disingenuous. She don't really believe what she's saying. She's just trying to pander to men.
Yeah, she's just pandering to us guys, telling us what we want to hear, and I can understand why they think that. All right. because the things she says are so far afield of how they are, or how their mammies was, or how their grandmammies was, or how their daughters are going to be. So of course they think it's all pandering. They think it's all mystical. They think it's all, these off the ship terms that no one can apply to their life. But that being said, if most Black women had the mind state of a Sister Ali, said the things she says, approaches a conversation the way she approaches a conversation, do you think that they would still be the least married? Do you think Black society would have as many divorces as it has? And when they talk about protection, if you got a community full of Sister Shaharazad Ali's, I think brothers wouldn't have a problem protecting those sisters. If you had a bunch of Sister Ali's walking around in your community and you knew how they were, you knew how they dealt with men, you knew what type of women they were, brothers would have no problems protecting them. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. Sister Ali said this a long time ago to me. She told me, she said, the reason why brothers don't want to stick up and protect Black women is because Black women so damn masculine that brothers got it in their mind that they don't need their damn protection because they're so damn masculine. But I say again, if you had a bunch of women in the community who were like Sister Ali, they wouldn't be walking around here talking about no damn protection, because guess what? They'd have it off top just for the simple fact of who they were as people and how they dealt with men. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a totally different thing. It would be totally different.
Yeah. I love how you put that. How if more Black women did what she did, would we have more Black families, less Black divorces? And so that just goes to my point that those that are fighting against, what are they fighting against? They're pushing back against the Black family. Those that were making the t-shirts ban Shaharazad Ali. Yeah, ban Black families, ban better outcomes for Black children. that's what they're trying to ban. But David Johnson, the asshole in the building, said Sister Ali is a national treasure and must be protected at all costs. I hate that term, must be protected at all costs. It was actually, I think, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews who made that screen called Kevin Samuels must be protected at all costs.
All costs.
I think everybody ran a mile with that one, but it's so I don't like that term, even though I understand where it comes from. Understand where it's coming from. He said she's the last of a beautiful dying breed. Go ahead. You were about to say something.
Yeah, well, Brother Bernard, let me tell you something, right? I'm in North Carolina. And if Sister Ali was here, right, say she was coming through for an interview or something, or I was going to her to meet her somewhere for an interview, and if someone did something crazy to Sister Ali, I would have a problem with that.
Oh, of course. Of course.
I would have a problem with that. And guess what? If my wife was with me, my wife would have a problem with that. If my sons were with me, you would have to deal with all of us if you did something, if you did something or said something out of the way to her and she's with us, guess what? She would be under our damn protection.
Absolutely.
Just because of who she is. All right. Forget the name. Forget the name Sister Ali, because of the type of person that she is. We wouldn't even have to think about coming to her defense. When you see one of them old hoes out there in the street and something going on with them, man, you contemplate calling the police. You may or may not. You may just head on about your way. You have to think about whether or not you're going to call the police. And you definitely ain't thinking about intervening, but you're really contemplating. You're like, damn, should I call the cops or no? She do look like she's fighting back, so I probably don't need to call the police. But if there's a Sister Ali around and somebody's accosting her, you're gonna come to her defense, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah, mediocre tourism reviews. He actually did a video recently where it was a black woman on there who was talking about. She was making a point that I make all the time. How when there's videos where something happened to a black woman, she get her head busted or something, and nobody jumps in or nobody does anything or people watch. Now you can speculate. Sometimes they just watching because they know that guy they could go and break her up all they want. She's gonna be back fucking the guy later that night anyway. But anyway, that's a whole nother story, whole nother show. But one thing that was worth pointing out, the sister, and I think MTR did the same thing, but I know the sister pointed out multiple videos that come at the same frequency of brothers who did all kinds of, jumping in to save the day type of stuff, for black women and black children. So it does turn into a whole thing of, we're highlighting. A shout out to Leo Anthony saying, yeah, they cherry pick the videos where a black woman getting their head bust, but there's just as many videos out there where somebody did something to a black woman and black men did intervene. So that's why I always say when they make the protection argument, and a lot of it is predicated on viral videos that they push the share button to make go viral. It's like, look at us. We're sharing we're sharing isolated incidents to show that we're not protected. It got 50 million views because we shared it. Therefore, we're not protected. Y'all not protecting us. It's I think it's a bunch of bull. Now there is some dysfunction in our community, and we do have this
really dysfunction in black society. No way.
Who'd have thunk it? And we do got this world star type of culture where everybody want to record stuff. But I tend to not overreact to those videos where shit is going down, because like I said, they're viral videos for a reason. They went viral and got a lot of views because a lot of shit went down. But a fair discussion is to be had about why black women feel unprotected. They quite often feel, emphasis on the word feel, unprotected because they single as fuck. A woman who goes to bed by herself every night, even if somebody comes, even if
technically unprotected.
Yes, yeah. Even if somebody come by and drop off some dick every now and then, but a woman who's technically going to bed by herself every night, she's going to feel unprotected because nobody is there in the bed with her. Okay, so mid, get on board with a man. Get on board with a man. You probably will have somebody laying in that bed next to you every night, and you won't feel unprotected. And then you could shut the hell up. All right, Black Wolf Inc. in the building with a super chat. He says, "Okay, Captain, I'm gonna just go ahead and ask, how much for a one-on-one with MTR? That ain't on me. It's time you two chopped it up. Hold on, I'll explain what I mean, but that's not on me. It's time you two chopped up some game and get Platinum Elite another one-on-one. You can buy a one-on-one with Platinum Elite. I don't know if you can buy one with MTR. There are people not even as big as him that I've reached out to for interviews and got left on red. So don't just assume that that an interview with MTR is that easy. Now, like I said before, he did swing through here and drop a super chat one day. So I do know that he knows about my show, and he acknowledged the content over here. So perhaps he will, perhaps he won't. I'll send him. I'll reach out. But I have very, very little expectations with that, because some bigger content creator, it makes sense once you get so big as a content creator. He's closing in on 200,000 views. It kind of makes sense to collaborate with people who are just as big as you or trending that big. So from a content creator standpoint, it would be great for me, but it will be neutral for him. So it will be really not much of. So I'm overthinking it. I reach out to him, but I have no expectations, because that's just kind of how it works. People tend to collab with people who are in the same range as terms of, with them as far as content creators. So there's that. But thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. And because you dropped super chat, I gotta play your special acknowledgement. Shout out to you. But no, I'm going to be trying to get guests. I talked about it on Little Big Nate's show. Make sure y'all go and check that out over there on Little Big Nate. I was talking about how I got big dreams and big goals and big visions, man. I'm gonna have a whole new setup someday, multiple mics, multiple camera angles, in studio guests, the whole works. Don't rush me, but it's gonna happen someday. But shout out to those who support the show. Shout out to those who have hit the like button. We got 418 people in the building, 412 on the likes. That is phenomenal. People are definitely feeling the content, even though there are those that have hit the goddamn dislike button and they are not feeling the content. But we're gonna ignore the haters and keep it pushing. But shout out to everybody who came through and have participated in any way, shape, or form with the show today. Snuggles in the building says, just because I don't want him to out super chat me. Shout out to Snuggles. I'm not playing that whole thing. I'm not trying to see that bear climb over the slab.
Hi, I'm Snuggles.
Shout out to Snuggles, not playing the whole thing. There y'all go tripping. David Carroll don't go on nobody damn show, let alone mine. His phrase is, half you niggas I don't like, other half I don't trust. So he don't do collaborations. So that's a wrap. That's a wrap.
These last $2, I'm not gonna lose.
All right. Shout out to Nagone 11 in the building. Yeah, JJ Logan. Logan JJ. That bear is creepy. Snuggle Bear versus Black Wolf. Yeah, that's what we got going on here. Snuggle Bear versus the Black Wolf. But yeah, where we at? Damn, I had another question that was at the tip of my tongue, but they distracted me. One question I never thought to ask, and it technically does not matter, but it just popped in my head. Is Sister Shaharazad Ali, is she married or ever been married? Just curious.
Yes.
Oh, currently married?
Oh, she has. She's not married right now. Her husband died.
Okay.
She's not married right now, but she was married, of course.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry to hear about her husband passed. Somebody else, just confirmed also that her husband passed. That's not that important of a question. It was just something that just popped in my head randomly. It's not that important of a question, but when I was trying to remember the question that I was about to ask you, that one popped in my head. It's 2 hours and 51 minutes into the show. We're going to wrap this up at the 3-hour mark. Have you had any recent talks with her about her potentially coming back on your show?
Believe it or not, I just spoke to her about a month ago. Yeah, about a month ago. Of course, I'm going to have her back on at some point. But I told her, because she knows me, she knows what I do for a living and all that stuff, and she knows, like, this time of year, man, I'm busy as hell. So, we got to get the logistics right. Got to get the logistics right on a day that, I'm not dead ass tired and beat, and she's able to come on. So we haven't been able to make that happen yet, but we will at some point. I mean, I try to have her on at least once a year. So it's 2021 now, so I'll try to get her in there at some point.
Right on. Moderators, drop Brother Xavier's link in the chat, because he's turned into the de facto special guest of the show. I actually put your name in the title. So I
see that. I see that.
I did tweak the title, put your name in there. Y'all drop his link in the chat, because he's turned into the de facto, well, not even de facto, he's turned into the special guest today. This is like the second time we did that, where you wouldn't it wasn't planned, but you took the link, and sometimes when you take the link, I just turn it into a one-on-one with you. I do that with Obsidian all the time. If he the first one to take the link, I just close it off and just interview Obsidian. So I definitely do that with you as well. So moderators, I'm waiting to see it. Drop the link in the chat. Brother Xavier, don't make me have to go dig it up first, and then y'all can copy and paste it. Y'all should be able to find his channel really quick and get it going and get it. Nobody's Nobody doing that. Y'all slipping, y'all slacking. Normally, when I say drop the link,
they don't like me, man. Your
no,
audience
yes,
doesn't.
they
Audience
love
doesn't
you.
like me.
They love you.
They tired of me. They hear my voice every day when you come on. They're like, "Oh God, not this guy again, please."
No, see, I think Jessica X just dropped it. I think Jessica X just dropped it, and I'm dropping it. Leo Anthony just dropping it. See, I almost beat y'all to the punch, and I'm on the air. I'm on the air, and I almost beat y'all to the punch. Y'all go
But
ahead.
let me say this before you cut out of here, because I know you like to cut out at 3 hours, man.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Much success on your channel, man. I've been watching you. I don't get to watch you every day. But I listen to you most of the time when you go live. You know, I listen to you in my earbuds on my phone while I'm at work.
Yeah.
And you know, the numbers are doing good, man. The channel's growing, man. All success to you, brother Bernard, man. Good shit going on here, man. But I'll tell you this, because someone told me this a long time ago. And believe it or not, the person who told me was brother Kevin Samuels himself. He said, the more popular you get, X, the more shit you're gonna run into. So you're getting really popular, brother Bernard. So expect to run into some shit.
Oh no, it's already coming. It's already coming. One of the biggest shit shovelers that lurks around, not a part of the Manosphere, but stands outside the gate of it, is shoveling a lot of shit on me right now. A lot of inaccurate misinformation. I could duck in and listen to 5 minutes of it, and I will hear like 10 lies in 5 minutes. And so it's already going down. It's already going down, and I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that at all. I've been in a place where, and I got to get back on that, where I could get off the air, and right when I get off the air, I can look and see my name in a title of somebody going live doing a reaction video. And sometimes people do that when they just I'm not talking about just like a piggyback stream where somebody, just somebody who may have been on the panel or may have been listening, who's a part of the Manosphere, and just want to expand on the conversation that was had. No, I'm talking about somebody who don't like the Manosphere, who's out to just kick dirt on it. I'm talking about those people. I will see them going live and talking shit about talking about me, and I could just see the thumbnail in the title, and I just keep it pushing. I don't even click on the shit. Like I'm in that peaceful place right there where I don't even have to click on it and hear what they talking about. I can just keep it pushing. Now lately I've been doing that, but I got to get back on my don't give a damn what they got to say mode, and just keep it pushing when I see those videos.
That's the best way to go, man, because you know, a lot of the people that you see on here, the bulk of their material is about talking about other people's material. That's the bulk of their material, talking about other people's material. So, sometimes you just got to go ahead and let them have that, for whatever reason. I'm a true believer that a person can talk about whatever they want to talk about, but I'm also a true believer that I myself hold the choice whether or not to listen to them or watch them or not. So, the power's ultimately in your hands, folks. I mean, don't feel compelled. I know it's hard for us to rip our eyes away from this YouTube screen and take these headphones off, but don't feel compelled that you have to watch. Don't, because I don't believe in hate watching. I mean, if someone you don't like, I mean, why self-torture yourself, man? And me, I'm not one to hate on folks, but I hate on folks like this. I hate on you by not watching you. That's how I do it. I've never disliked the video. I've never disliked the video.
Me either. Me either.
Never disliked.
Wow. I'm the same exact way. And one time I did it when I was on I was on the air because I was sharing somebody's video. It was actually a Derek Jackson video that he made that after his scandal or whatever, and it had like, I don't know, like 1,000 likes and like 2,000 dislikes, and I was right
Mhm.
there. I slid the cursor over there when everybody's watching and was like, "Oops," and hit the dislike. I did it as a joke. But I clicked the dislike again to take it off. I wasn't going to like his video, but I wasn't going to dislike it either. I stay neutral when it comes to liking and I'm either liking your video or I'm indifferent to your video. But just as far as disliking somebody's stuff, nah, I don't do that. That makes no sense to me. I don't go around disliking
It's stupid because I watch your stuff, and if I watch it for 2-3 minutes and you up there talking about something that I don't want to hear, I'm just gonna click your ass off. That is my dislike. That's how I show my dislike, by not watching you.
Right on.
I just don't watch you.
Deacon Dave in the building. He said, "I missed 2 of your super chats." He's asking you, X. He says, "What's your top 3 cigars?" Like my father.
Oh, well, I like Romeo and Julieta's, brother. Those are kind of my staples right there. I like Hibitos from time to time, but I like Romeo and Julieta's. I smoke all their brands, man, of cigars. And those are the cigars that, like my sons, they buy me, for gifts. They'll buy me a big old box of them. Those are my brand right there. Those are my brand, the old Romeo and Julietas, and some of them are expensive, some of them are not. It all depends which ones you buy. Me, I have a tendency to buy I like the 1875s are a favorite of mine. I like the Reserve Reals, of course, and I also like the Dark Maduro. The Reserve Maduro. I'm crazy about those. So that's where I'm at, man. I'm a Romeo and Juliet person. Unless you got some Cubans in the stash, hit me up. But
yeah, I'm not a cigar person. I'm not a cigar person. I'll be turning 39 next month. I made it this far with good clean lungs. I ain't gonna start right now, but I do have a drink here and there. As you can see the wet bar behind me, I do have me a drink. My biggest vice, as I always say, is food. I eat too damn much, but other than that, no, I don't do the cigar things. I don't do the cigar. But shout out to you brothers. Shout out to your brothers that do. Wizard X in the building. He says, "Do you have a Rumble account?" I don't even know what that is. Do you have a Rumble account? Do you know what that is?
Hell no. What the hell is a Rumble account?
I don't know.
Is that like Zelle or something? Is that like Zelle?
I don't know what you kids are doing nowadays with all that bippity bop stuff. I don't know. But anyway. I don't know. I have no clue what a Rumble account is. But shout out to you. Appreciate the super chat.
These last $2, I'm not gonna lose.
Deacon Dave, you said I missed 2 of your super chats. I only found one of them. There was one where you sent the other one I acknowledged. Maybe you didn't hear it, but I only saw one that I missed. But with that said, we about to get on out of there. Well, X, you got anything going on your show tonight, real quick? Are you...
No, you know me. I usually throw down Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Okay, I'll be forgetting your schedule. Wednesday and
last
Thursday,
week I didn't even do any, man, because my season's picked up, man. And shoot, man, I don't be getting into the house till like 10 after 9. So I've been kind of tired. I'm probably gonna do something this week. I actually got something new cooking up. Y'all could probably look for the thumbnail of that either tonight or tomorrow. I don't want to say nothing now because it's kind of a surprise. Something that me and my shadow producer SKC been working on, in the back channel. So
yeah,
we might go ahead and debut that this week. But that's pretty much it, man. I'm probably not going to be, doing too much, over the course of the summer. Anyone who's followed me, they know it's summertime, this YouTube slows down tremendously, because to be honest, folks, I'll be too damn tired when I come up in here to think about doing YouTube for you Negroes. I can only do it when I have energy. All right. And I'd be too tired. Like last week, I was too tired. I was like, I ain't doing nothing. But this week, probably be a little bit of an easier week for us. So yeah, we might do something this week, folks. But don't hold me to it though, because my work schedule does fluctuate. It'll go from an easy day and turn into a damn difficult day out of nowhere. So, I can't make no promises, but we might do something this week. We might debut a new show this week. We gotta see.
Right on. Herb Thompson sent a cash app. Maurice November sent a cash app, and Sir Tice sent a cash app saying thanks for coming on the show last night when I was over on Little Big Nate with him, because Sir Tice co-host with Little Big Nate on Sundays, and I was over there. Make sure y'all go and check that out if you haven't already. Make sure you go and check that out. And with that said, everybody who contributed to the show in any way, shape, or form, whether you hit the super chat, cash app, liked, disliked, or just watch with indifference, I appreciate you for coming on through. Shout out to E. Capone right there for the $5. It was the thought that count super chat. Appreciate that. Wizard X back in here with another. He said Rumble is a YouTube alternative. Oh, thank you for educating me on that.
Yeah, gotta check that out.
I will check it out. So thank you to everybody who participated in the show in any way, shape, or form. And with that said, we are out of here. Peace.
Peace, folks.